Hello everyone, let's start this over again. And welcome on in. I hope everyone has had an amazing day or will have an amazing day today. We are here with some new stuff, a 3-part adventure thing for the Lord of the Rings setting created by Free League for Dungeons and Dragons. And got some amazing players in. Lillith! Duck! Yes, the ducks work.
Lillith! Yay!
And quick thing, the music you're listening to right now is by Adrian von Ziegler. You can find out more about his stuff if you type in music 2 in the chat. If you want to catch the VOD of this or any other of our TTRPG or just general RPG stuff, because I recently went through my YouTube thing and found Skyrim there, you can check out our YouTube channel, or you can come talk about it over on our Discord. I love how Lillith is on top of everything.
Yes, on top of everything.
Yes. And the starting soon screen, the overlay, and one of the maps used today will be made by me in Incarnate. This one was made by Free League, the one you're looking at right now. And sound effects and music during the
maps.
Thank you. The sound effects and music during the game will be by Sirenscape. And last but not least, if you want to see what you can do to help or hinder the party, you can type in !perks in the chat. If you have
murder us all, murder us all. I'm just kidding.
No.
Please don't. Please don't. At least let us get through one session.
Oh my!
I don't have a backup
Please.
character
Okay.
for this one.
Whoopsies. And for those who are unawares, we are currently raising money for the Trevor Project. If you have the money to spare, make sure you do. Did you have it to spare before you donate? Please head on over to the donation page. No, it's donate.
Well, I'm sorry.
It even says in the title. You
Why
can
not?
head on over there, and each $5 donated enters you into a raffle for some D&D goodies at the end of the month. Also,
Pretty shiny.
each $50 donated unlocks a secret project I am doing. And so far we have 3 of them. How to play evil characters in games and some examples of it in media. How to game master with ease and don't get stressed out about it. And how to run political intrigue in your TTRPGs. We have 2 more of the secrets to unlock by the end of the month.
You better unlock them.
Do it. You have like so many days to unlock them, and it's only 2.
Yes.
You
But
can do it.
let's go around the table and introduce our players. And yes, Lillith, who are you and who are you playing?
Why is it always me first?
Because you choose names that are first in the alphabet compared to the others.
Well, fuck me. I'm gonna make a character that's named Uriel or something next time. Hi, I'm Lilith, or Lily, or Lils. I'm playing a little halfling today. Tick, 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 tick.
How
Named
cute.
Lavender Cotton. She's very adorable.
Psycole.
Hi, I'm Psycole, and I am playing Lothar the Dwarf. Ranger. Thing. Wanderer. I'm just going to change my camera angle so that it's more appropriate for the game that we're playing.
Nice. I mean, well, at that point, Lilith should be off screen because Lavender is the shortest of all of us.
Yes.
Well,
I I'm like 3 of Lillith of Lavender's height at that point. My character is.
This is gonna be me around the counter being like, "Excuse me, sir. I want a pint."
Well, we started with the short folk. Now we go over to the tall folk. Terris.
Hello, I'm Sir Terris, your friendly neighborhood ferret. Today I am playing Naron, the I nearly said the albino drow bard. That is not correct. That is Oren. No, I'm playing Naron, the elven scholar.
All right. And to our newest player that I wanted to have at my table for the past 4 years, Jackson.
Well, I have been wanting to be at a table of yours for a very long time also. Hello, I'm Jackson, also known as Kirasagi and a bunch of other places, depending on where I'm at online. I am going to be playing Rosemary, the Ranger of the North. That is not her given name, but that is probably the one you will hear the most, depending on the shenanigans we get up to. But I am playing a Ranger of the North, so kinda human. And I for sure am the tallest because she is 6'6", befitting her heritage and her ancestry. And yeah, she looks younger than she actually is. She's kind of nearing retirement age, whatever that means in this sort of setting for a ranger. But she looks much younger than she actually is. And
I mean,
she's
yeah,
essentially essentially Rosemary is a runner for all the different ranger groups that kind of go on patrols and stuff like that. So she doesn't have a set place. She kind of travels everywhere.
Nice. Well, considering that Aragorn was 80 years old and didn't look a day over 40.
She's yes, she is not that old. She is quite younger than much younger than him, but she is by human standards probably an old lady at this point. But she looks much younger because of if any of you watching know anything about Lord of the Rings and the Rangers of the North, you know their ancestry. So she looks way young for her age. But she is extremely tall and very hardy. And she's got very silver, almost moonlight colored hair.
Nice.
So, yeah.
All right.
And,
hi, I am Ardana or Joe or you there since Lillith is here. I don't even know when that started. It became a thing, and it's now a thing. I'm the GM and channel runner around these parts, and I'm the one who's going to be pretending to know what the hell I'm doing. But I nearly said, I nearly asked for a recap, but considering this is the first session, we don't have a recap. Instead, we are going to see if why Sirenscape has decided not to work on OBS. No, that's sound alerts.
But whilst you're trying to get that to work, I've just wanted to point out I found a prop.
oh no!
Oh, nice. Nice. Sadly, my prop is in my closet and is much too big to show on screen because I have a replica of Indoril, and so it wouldn't also be time appropriate for our party anyway. But it's very tall and too big.
I also have props. I have snacks. I have third breakfast.
Did second
Nice.
breakfast
Very
go
awesome.
back in the oven?
I want breakfast.
Did second breakfast go back in the oven?
Yes.
Second breakfast.
No,
We've already
no, it
had
did not.
one.
It went into my mouth. I didn't want to.
All right.
I
can't
will
assume.
do
I love that the short people are at the top of the screen on
Yes.
stream and the tall people are at the
Yes.
bottom.
Oh god, you're gonna make me go. Oh no, that's extra hilarious there.
Yes.
That is funniest.
It's like the tall people are lifting them up to reach the camera.
You're here,
Which is,
son.
yeah. And it's
Everything's
again
good.
being 6'6", I'm like what 3 or 4 of Lavender.
You're 6 inches taller than I am, so
ranger folk are real tall,
Yes, yes, they are.
and
All
I
right.
went
I'm a
with
6
what
foot
seemed
tall elf
reasonable.
Fun.
Yes, ranger folk.
Yeah.
Actually, Rosemary is like 2 inches taller than my in real life husband.
She's much, almost 2 heads taller than I am in real life. So
All right.
there's that.
Hello, Seth. Hello, TK. Hi. Speaking of husband, hi, Carnes. Um. All right. Well, if we
Yeah.
are all as comfortable as we are going to get, let's get
I can be more
started.
comfortable. Give me that pillow. There we go. Now I'm comfortable.
The year is 2961 of the Third Age. In the stillness of peace, much can grow and flourish. The lands of Eriador are green and lush with all manner of crops and deep forests. Burbling brooks and swift rivers cut the landscape into gentle pieces. In the shadow of peace, the common folk should be able to sleep in comfort. Then why is there a restlessness spreading through the swaying wheat and barley? Why do kind-hearted ponies suddenly buck and bite their handlers? A darkness is slowly blanketing the lands. Rumors of wild men and dark dealings are whispered between pints of ale and roasted bounty. Traveling along the East Road is more dangerous than ever, yet more and more people are traveling along it, escaping the shadows in the south. In this age of ancient tensions, we find ourselves in the hamlet of Bree, in the west of Eriador. Sitting along the East Road on the border of the Old Forest, Bree is a cosmopolitan town with all manner of folk living and moving within her walls. In the main meeting spot, the inn called the Prancing Pony, spirits are high and swimming happily in many a tankard of brown ale. For what can stave off exhaustion from a hard day's work and fears of what broods outside the town walls better than a good meal and good company? In this atmosphere, sitting around a table, we find our adventurers. What do we see? Let's go in alphabetical order, because otherwise I'll lose track. Lavender.
Well, fuck you. So you will see blue-eyed, red, long, luscious, curly hair. Little, well, halfling that she's like kicking her legs while she's sitting there drinking her ale, being like the happy-go-lucky girl she is.
All right. I lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah. Sitting there swinging your legs under the table. More than once you have accidentally been bumped by passing patrons in this now very packed inn. People are coming and going, and as the night draws on, people get more and more inebriated. It is strange almost to be in a place like this where so many people gather, people of all statures and species and lineages. You see a couple of elves, a few dwarfs, well, aside from your traveling companions. And most humans, people who have settled Bree for a long time, and while it is different from where you originally come from, Lavender, it is homely in a way. As your feet swing, as you're sitting on the chair, suddenly your foot bumps something on under the table.
She will just like look under the table with not too much. She's just like looking under.
As you look under the table, you see a small face look up at you. Long snout, whiskers, and just.
Is it a rat?
Yes, it is a small rat.
And she will pick it up.
Picking up the rat, it starts like squirming in your hands.
And she will like pick up some bread and cheese from the table and start giving it to it.
As you are gently feeding this rat some of your crumbs, we move over to your companion, Lothar. What do we see?
Lothar is currently sitting with a large pile of tankards in front of him. So beer suds pooling through his slightly unkept beard that has a series of weird tools and things like that tied into it. He's wearing he still has his helm on his head, and you can just about see his dark grey eyes behind them. He is swaying slightly on his seat, and as he's doing that, you can hear his chainmail armor slightly tinkering, as he kind of continues to drink away what coin he has. Yeah, his weapons and shields are kind of propped up next to the table, and he's a very drunk dwarf.
All right.
Goodness.
You, for a brief moment, see Lavender vanishing and then appearing with a furry little beast in her grasp and starting to feed the beast with some cheese and bread from the table. You're not entirely sure if that is real, because you are currently seeing 2 Lavender and 1 rat.
Lavender, who's your sister, and why does she have a pet fairy thing?
Oh, Lothar. I don't have a sister. But look, I found a furry friend. And she will like put it up almost his face.
Is that a rat?
Maybe.
We'll wring its neck already and add it to the rations.
Oh, no.
Are you collecting pets again?
No.
Well, you're feeding it out of your share of the food.
Yeah.
I've never seen a hobbit share food.
Well, I'm not a normal hobbit, as you may noticed.
Yes.
Also,
Right.
do you mind if I clean your beard tomorrow? Maybe put some, dandelions in there?
Yes, I do mind. You will not do that.
Of course not. And she will basically wait until he's fallen asleep and start grooming his beard and put flowers in it.
Naron, watching these 2 talk about the rat, what do we see?
A very young elven man, 6 foot tall, pale skin, silver eyes, light blonde hair. He hasn't looked up from the book that he has on the table as he's reading and turning pages with one hand, and has a quill and parchment in the other hand, writing notes. As he's just hearing the bickering, well, not bickering, but the conversation. He'll look up for a moment, look over at the rat, look at Lavender, and just go, Are you insistent on turning every creature that you find in the taverns and on the road route completely spherical? It's probably not good for their health. And then he'll just go back to writing and reading.
Oh, come on. It can't be that bad. And I mean, look at him. And she will look at it. Her.
Well, if you intend to feed it, that makes you responsible for it forever. Or at least until it dies.
Well, knowing my record with animals and how they accidentally get stepped on by people,
That was
that
one.
would be
me.
too bad.
Just remember, something taken from the wild is your responsibility.
And she will look around, being like, would you call this wild, though?
For a rat, absolutely.
Fine. And she will, like, let the rat go. But then accidentally, like, very stealthily drop a big cheese thing on the floor.
Without looking up from his book, he's just going to go, I saw that.
Shit.
With Naron saying that, Rosemary, what do we see?
So Rosemary is sitting kind of probably in the middle of like this booth, assuming that it's kind of maybe rounder because there's so
Yeah.
many of us. So the standard one wouldn't fit all of us.
Yep.
And also the dwarf needs a lot of table space for all his ale mugs.
Yes.
So Rosemary is sitting kind of in the middle of the booth, sort of kind of slouched, reclined, stretching her very long legs under the table. So she probably looks like she's just as tall as
Mhm.
Lothar is sitting down. She's got her hood, like her hood of her cloak is kind of like loosely covering her face or her head. But you see like a very what looks like a blonde sort of braid kind of coming out and sort of like resting on her chest. Her arms are kind of loosely crossed and um, uncharacteristically for women, she's smoking a pipe. Very like slowly, kind of like slow drags of it, sort of in a kind of like relaxed, probably as relaxed as anyone in the her companions has seen her because she's always on alert. And she is, in fact, while sitting there, having this like air of being relaxed and kind of listening with half an ear to her companions. She is continually scanning the room for signs of danger or signs of like, you know, discord or things like
Mhm.
that because she has to be ever vigilant for that sort of thing. And she's got like traveling clothes on, but they look well worn, but also very suspiciously well made for kind of how traveled they look. And she's got very like piercing blue eyes if you were to get close enough into her
Mhm.
face. But she has a drink, but like hasn't touched it at all. So it like maybe is only like half full. She's just taking like very slow sips because she has to be alert. She has to
Mm.
remain on the like, looking for danger and making sure that like, she doesn't have to jump into like protecting her companions or like, they don't have to make a quick getaway, and it's just kind of like default for her. So she's, kind of just keeping an ear cocked on their conversation. uh, I would be careful with the rats in a place like this. They are prone to carry more disease than those in the wild, and it would be very sad if you were to come down with something.
Uh,
I think I'll be fine.
as you say that, both Rosemary and Naron, you suddenly hear soft clanking sound from a few tables over. It's almost not perceptible, but because of your keen hearing, both of you, and Rosemary's alertness, you notice it. And a couple of tables over, a woman seems to have dropped a tankard on the floor, and she has fallen over, and straining your hearing, you can hear her slightly snoring, but not a drunken snore. And then next to her, you notice a man sitting, deep black circles under his eyes, as if he hasn't slept in days.
Naron is going to look at Rosemary and just, interesting couple there.
Indeed. Rosemary's going to, sort of like as casually as possible, kind of like in her scan of sort of like the entire bar, sort of like look that way, to like sort of clock like, is there anything suspicious going on? Is that like, do they seem like they know each other and they're comfortable? Is there like, that was interesting because there's not a lot of people that wear like, make those kinds of sounds, and it just seems kind of maybe out of place. Like Lothar's kind of the only one that usually is clinking around because of his armor, and like he's not making noises, and he's drunk AF. So
Yes.
can I make like a a perception check or something to like kind of just like
I was just
more
about
information from what's going on?
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So please make me a perception check.
Oh, that wasn't great at all. I have a better perception than that. that was ass.
I mean, it's a little bit hard to tell. There's a lot of people around, but what you clock from, and before people say anything, I use a sliding scale of failure and success, so don't come at me. To get all the information you needed at 12, but you still get some information. Looking around, the two people at the table seem to be comfortable. Like the woman is asleep, but the man looks like he's comfortable in her presence. And then you notice like near them are two other men that look very similar in like features to this man. Some form of relatives probably. All three look human, as does the woman, and all four look exhausted.
Okay, but they're all sitting at the same table?
Yeah.
Okay. And is her sleep, like, does it, if I know this on a 9, does her sleep sound like a genuine sleep or a feigned, I'm pretending to sleep, but I'm actually not asleep?
I'd say with a 9, it sounds like the kind of sleep you get when your body refuses to let you wake up because you're too tired.
Okay, so it's that like you just can't stay awake anymore kind of sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing immediately appears to be amiss. They're definitely a group of some kind. They could also be taking a break, but they all look like they need several weeks of rest, which is somewhat concerning.
I'm just worried if they all drop like flies at that table, someone is going to pick their pockets.
I mean, I'm not necessarily as concerned with that, but I could see how that might be a problem.
I'm also concerned about what had them traveling so long and hard, that they wouldn't have rested on the road.
Yes, that's what concerns me more. When the exhaustion takes too strong of a hold, sometimes you might not wake up from it, and
Well-
this would be a bad place to find a dead body.
Well, you're the human here. More or less. No, he wouldn't say more or less. Well, you're the human here. It would be odd for me to approach them.
Well, I suppose I could make my way over under the guise of I
Concern?
don't know what guise. I could just make something up before on the way over. But their tiredness is definitely of concern.
Yes, concerning.
Um,
At you saying this, Lothar will basically attempt to pull himself away from the table. So, don't worry, I've got this. And he kind of pulls himself out of the booth and wanders over the table.
Give me a dexterity check.
I am readying an action to help grab him if he looks like he's going to fall on his face. By the way.
All right. Hello, above VTT. Can we get the roll, please?
no.
I think it was a 13 with a +1, so 14.
Let me just check the game log. I can't see it in the game log either. D&D Beyond?
Game log just shows a question mark on my end.
Yes. D&D Beyond is having a little bit of an issue.
Hold on, let me reroll.
God.
Refresh and reroll.
Sometimes it does that. Because I don't know why.
Dexterity. Oh, that's bad.
Oh, goodness gracious.
All right. You make an attempt. You stand up, and the world just tilts just slightly, just enough so that your foot gets lodged under your chair.
I knew it.
Yes.
And you're about to faceplant.
Yeah, I'm going to try and steady him, like grab him under the arms and stop him from falling.
Okay, give me a strength check.
A strength check? But I have -1 to strength.
You're
You might
trying
roll
to
good
catch
anyway.
a falling dwarf
Can-
wearing
That is
chainmail.
good
Knowing
armor
that he's
on.
about to fall, can I like reach from like where I'm sitting and like reach over to try and like grab his back as like
Yep.
you're trying to like hold him from the top and like we can tag team that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you can either
And we
each of you
can
roll a
have
strength
hindering.
check or Naron rolls with advantage.
Roll
Probably.
with advantage.
You sure?
Because I also have a -1 to my strength.
Yes!
Okay.
I am
Please
not
fail.
a strength ranger.
Oh, that's not 18 for 17.
Nice.
That's not bad.
With Rosemary's help, you manage to catch. Why is it doing that? You manage to catch Lothar just as he's about to eat planks, and does not end up landing with both of you on the floor. In fact, you manage to brace yourself and keep the dwarf standing.
Oi,
more or less.
Who moved the room like that? Wait,
Why are you so heavy?
I'm not heavy, I'm just dense.
I'm not going to argue with that.
Yes, I'm also not going to argue with that. You said it, Lothar,
Yes.
not me.
Anyway, you want to know what's going on at the table? Lothar will provide. And he goes back to pick up his tankard of ale, and he walks over to this table that has the exhausted people on it.
All right.
Well, he tries to walk over. How much of a straight line he makes is entirely up to you.
You know how you have to move in order to walk when you're on a train?
Mm-hmm.
I imagine Lothar does something similar, but with every chair and table and person he passes.
Yes.
Because the
Hey,
tavern...
watch it.
Kitty. Because the room is moving. Almost
Yes.
slithering as you walk through it. But eventually you manage to get to the table through some grunts and complaints and random outbursts of indignation as you pass by.
Excellent. I arrive at the table,
Yes.
slam the tankard down on it to try and wake them up, and just go, "Oi, you lot, what's up?"
You slam the tankard down and the woman just... What? Oh. I was having a nap. What?
Well, you look knackered, and I just wanted to know what was up.
Well, you would also be knackered if you hadn't slept in days.
Well, that's what the alcohol's for.
That doesn't help.
And why haven't you slept for days?
Well, when someone keeps knocking at your window in the dead of night and waking you up asking stupid questions, it's kind of hard to sleep.
I mean, did you not just trim the tree?
What?
The last place I stayed in, and there was tapping at the window every single night. I chopped the tree down outside, and it stopped the noise.
We haven't had a tree on the farm for us. Decades. Ever since we needed new troughs for the cows.
Right. So, you have come to the tavern to sleep?
Well, the hope was to get a room and sleep here instead, and maybe the stupid vermin wouldn't come by then. But there are no rooms anymore. Because all of them have been rented out.
I can tell you that that corner next to the fire is very comfortable.
And one of the men look over and says, I have to try that. Sleeping at home is not an option anymore.
And where is home?
Takes a step out, walks north for about 3 houses. You see a farm in the distance. That's home. You have to go through the city gates, though. They're outside the gates.
And this noise every night at a certain time?
Every night for the past month, there's a tapping. And then someone comes into the room and starts asking dumb questions.
What type of questions?
Have you seen my map? Where is my food? Have you seen my horse? As if waking someone sleeping would give you the answer to those questions.
Ah. Well, like I said, the floor over there, very comfortable at night. And
Yeah. I'll have to try that.
I hope you sleep okay. But I would really recommend the ale. That normally means it is uninterrupted sleep.
I'll try that, because at this point, yeah. Oh, this looks like my sister tried it and it worked. And you look over and the woman is fast asleep again.
Excellent. Right. Well, enjoy. I'm going back to my table. And he starts walking towards the bar.
All right.
Would it be safe to presume that like we all heard? Well, maybe I don't know. Depending on how I was paying attention, Rosemary was paying attention. Would have heard that conversation, like
Yeah.
the exchange between them, or are they like too far down for it?
I'd say with your passive perception, you could have heard it.
Okay.
Because now you're focusing
Um,
in on their conversation.
Yeah. Well, because I
Done
wanted to
the
make
same
sure
thing.
that my
Yeah.
dwarf friend was okay because he's very inebriated. But also like that type of exhaustion, like I'm used to that exhaustion, and it's like they don't look the type that would be doing something that would, cause them such exhaustion. Like,
No.
they don't look like adventurers or like seasoned
No.
travelers.
They look like farmers. And while farming is back-breaking labor, most farmers know when to stop so they don't hit that level of exhaustion.
Yeah. So having heard that conversation, can I... Okay, so I have an ability called folklore,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have the old lore skill, but it says I'm considered proficient in it. So I'm
Okay.
assuming because old lore is an intelligence based, I'm assuming maybe it's just an intelligence check for me with my proficiency added,
Yes.
or
Yes, it would.
double my proficiency or whatever. Yeah.
So let me check because I know that because you're a messenger, you also have proficiency in everything that you don't have proficiency in.
Yes, I do. But with folklore, it says.
Old
So
lore.
before I read that, my question is, having heard that conversation and like hearing the details of it's this like knocking that happens on our window every night. It's this like the it's been for the last month. It's like this person's asking these questions in the room, and then like, but they didn't mention like what happens to like, does the person leave? Would I know of maybe any tales or stories of like ghosts isn't quite the right word in this type of setting, but some sort of like weird supernaturally magical sort of like something like
Yeah.
that like happens on occasion, or like would I know anything sort of like that? Maybe even if I have to confer with Neuron because like he's learned in a way that I'm not. But I think
if you're going to confer, and this is going to be a check, I'm going to use one of my uses of Rhymes of Law, which will give you within the next minute a D8 to your roll.
Okay.
To my roll. Okay.
Yes,
Would that fall under my folklore skill or ability?
Yes, so
at all?
I added the old lore to your skills, and Lavender, you were saying something? Okay, because I heard your voice, and I was like, what was there something? Hi. Okay, so yes, so I added the old lore to your skill tree.
Yeah, I didn't add that one because it wasn't one I chose of my own accord, so I didn't have it added. It's not showing on my thing, so I might have to.
You might have to reload. Yeah, you have to reload the character sheet.
Yeah.
But yes, you have an additional D8 to it as well.
Okay.
Also, I've got Law Master, so if you do use that law die that I gave you, you can roll it twice and use either total.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to probably use it because I don't. I have my intelligence is not like the greatest because I did not spec myself down. There it is. Okay. So. Okay. Well, I'm not proficient. Okay. So would I just roll like it's not something I'm proficient in normal, but the folklore ability says that I am for certain types of information. So I would just be adding that, or would I be doubling it because the ability says something about doubling it as well? But I don't know if.
Let me check the ability. These are new skills that are specific to this setting.
Yes. Yeah, they are specific to the Middle Earth setting that we are playing in. So.
Yeah.
And folklore is specific to the range class. It's not called a class, but folklore is specific to ranger. So
Okay, so that would
yeah,
be.
'cause I add
There we go.
double.
If it says something,
Consider proficient
whenever you
in
make an
old lore, and I
intelligence.
add double my proficiency instead of normal proficiency. So I
Okay,
would be
okay.
adding
So yes. So yes, it would be so. You would have a plus because you're not proficient in it normally. If it has to do
Yeah.
with the free people, you have a +3 instead of your normal
like
+1.
or whatever my okay. So I okay. I'm not doubling the 3 then. I'm just rolling with +3 and then adding a
Actually,
D8 to that. Okay.
No, because your
'Cause I'm not-
proficiency bonus is you would roll a +4 instead of a +1 because you add your
Oh, yes,
proficiency
yes.
again. Because messengers are half proficient in all skills they don't have
Yeah.
proficiency in, so it would be a +4 instead of a +1.
3. Okay. Okay. So I'm adding. So old lore for me is +4, and then I will roll that and okay. So I got to do that by hand, right? I think. Is there a way to do that in chat? I think I can. Yeah. Okay. I can
Yeah.
do. Oops. Roll 1, 20. Oops. Was yeah. Oh, 20. Well, sorry, I'm typing it in, and I'm not a fast typer. Sorry, everyone that's watching this live. I'm not super tech smart. 5,
it's
and then
fine.
can I then add the D8 with that if I'm like, and then do
Yes.
+1 D8?
Yep.
Okay.
Just remember, you get to roll that D8 twice and choose whichever.
Oh,
you
I
want,
do?
because- Yep.
Oh. Okay. Well, let me
That's
roll.
my skills
Let me
as
roll
a,
this first. So then that is a 13, and then we're gonna do roll 2d8 and see what shows up for that. So what
Why did it
showed up
say okay?
for?
You
Yeah.
need a space between the R and the 2.
Oh, thank you.
That's right.
Uh-huh. Okay, so 13 plus 8. We'll take the higher of the 8. So 13 plus 8, so 21.
All right, nice. So with a 21, you hear that, and several stories come to mind. Specifically, since Bree is on the border of the Old Forest, Chetwood,
Mhm.
and Midgewater Marshes. All three that have a long storied history of all manners of ghouls and goblins and hames and boogers and yes. Specifically
Lots of scary stuff.
yes, a lot of scary stuff. And the Old Forest is just that. Like you know about the Guardian of the Old Forest, who's just slightly on the right side of unhinged.
Yeah. Like even rangers, we tread very carefully in the Old Forest because we know there's some stuff.
Yeah. And if you keep on the good side of old Tom Bombadil, nothing bad will happen. If you piss him off, you're on your own.
Yeah. Okay.
But
There's
specifically to this, you know of with the 21, you know of some creatures that it could be. Some restless spirits will come and ask people for stuff to help them rest. There are creatures from the Chetwoods that would come in and try to lure people out into the woods to kill them. There are the will-o-wisps of the marshes that will come and try pull people out. But they normally don't stray too far from the marshes. It is probably some form of... But just the fact that they're knocking first on the window means that they probably need to be let in. And with a 21, that sounds like either a wraith or a vampire. But why they just ask questions and don't attack people for either of those two is odd.
Yeah. Would it be fair also because like being like to think that, with like the, I guess, like shadow and darkness and stuff,
Yes.
kind of like things getting more dreary and more bleak, that like maybe even with that knowledge, that it's like possible that like, well, some of the stories, like maybe some creatures are tainted extra, or maybe work a little bit differently in some unknown way because the shadow and darkness is
Yeah,
like
exactly.
getting worse,
So-
and no one really knows what's going on, that it's getting
Yeah.
worse. It's just like stuff is scary, and so like maybe even with that knowledge, it's like, okay, that's not typical, but maybe things are
I
changing,
also
or
give you that
evolving in some way.
because both wraiths and vampires tend to have servants, vermin servants.
Yeah.
And looking around, you recall the rat you found,
Yeah.
but that one wasn't hostile in any way. It seemed to be just like a rat that lives at this inn. But there are a number of creatures that follow both wraiths and vampires around. And I'd say with the 21, you get like probably looking out for either men, like humans, or even rangers that have fallen to shadow. If they follow a wraith around, that is very dangerous. Or even a vampire at this point. So corrupted men, not gender specific, but humans primarily. And
language of the setting.
Yeah. So corrupted men and vermin are usually telltale signs of vampires and wraiths.
Yeah. Oh. So we've kind of, Rosemary and Norin have kind of been like discussing this in like sort of like hushed tones at our table while like kind of listen, so I'm assuming that Lavender has also heard all this stuff, because it's not like we have some weird telepathy. Like we're kind of like conferring and talking back and forth and sharing information. Well, this is very troubling and very not good at all, for a multitude of reasons. This is probably one of the most dangerous things that we may choose to undertake, Lavender. I don't know what your level of danger acceptability is, but this could go very, very poorly if we don't prepare properly. But I, for myself, cannot let this being continue to be harming these folk or any other folk in the area that maybe are experiencing similar things. This is very not good to have around.
I agree, these people deserve peace in their own homes.
And it will, whether it's a wraith or a vampire, it will move on once it completes its task in this area, and it will continue besieging, on the outskirts first until it grows powerful enough to come into a more populated area. But we make decisions together as a group, and I'm gonna call Lofar back and be like, "Oi, Lofar, get back to the table. We have some discussion to do, and you need to be here to pay attention to it. Also, I got you another drink." Which is just going to be her drink that she's barely touched, but like she's going to give it to him as incentive.
Neron's just going to be, you lied to him.
I did no such thing. He has another drink. It's just not from the bar. Unless he brings one back.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll bring several back.
Yes.
Lavender. You've heard the discussion. Lavender's trying to hide. What?
Oh no.
I mean, Yeah, Lavender is. As you turn to hear Lavender's opinion, she's gone.
Oh. Okay, I'm missing something here. I need to open chat or something.
She rolled a stealth check and rolled a 20.
Oh, got it. Oh, so like I turned to tell her all that and she's disappeared.
Yush.
Did someone put something in my water?
Oh.
Or did our halfling disappear?
No, our halfling has vanished as they are wont to do. I suspect possibly going after her rat friend, which could be dangerous if the vermin is a servant and is following this beleaguered group of farmers. It could just be a
And
normal rat. That's entirely possible. But I'm
And she does like to make
just-
her little friends.
yes, and we do not need her becoming a servant of the darkness and shadow.
Yes, that would be, in a word, terrible.
Let's see. What do I have anything that could help me find her? Can I guess just make a general perception check to see like if I can figure out where she might have gone? Like this is a tavern that we probably frequent, so maybe she has
Yeah.
like a hiding spot I don't know about, or maybe she's has friends here or something. Like,
Yeah.
can I try and see if I can figure out where she's gone?
Please give me a perception check as we cut over to what is Lavender doing as she sneaks away.
God, my digital dice are rolling butt.
Yes.
So basically, what she's been doing after they started catching Lofar and stuff, she basically just sunk down. And she's basically under the table, smoking and feeding the rat. She hasn't gone far.
Okay. We just missed her going.
Yes.
Yeah, she basically just like,
Well, I rolled a 10.
no one's paying
so-
attention to her, so she's basically just sitting there eating with the rat and smoking.
She's
So-
smoking her own, right? She didn't like steal my. Okay.
No.
All right.
Like,
So
I have my pipe. How'd you get it? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
I rolled
it-
a 10. So.
yeah, with a 10, you look around and there are just too many people around, moving, drinking. Even though the night is starting to come to a bit of a lull, the inn is packed and Lavender is small.
Yep.
I don't know, what would I roll to try and find her?
It would be a perception check.
I have a +5 to that.
I just find it very
I did,
funny
and
that.
I do too, and that didn't help me.
No.
It helps you.
17.
Oh, there we go. That's much better.
After looking around for a while and not like seeing anything, Naren, you move slightly and you bump something under the table.
Ow!
Oh, there you are.
And you can basically just see her still holding the rat, having the pipe in her mouth, and she's still feeding the rat.
You're responsible for that now, you realize that.
You told me that like 2 times already. I even taught it how to smoke.
That is not healthy.
We do not condone teaching animals to smoke. This is a game.
No, we do not.
We also don't condone you picking up random rats, particularly
Yeah,
in like
no.
public spaces. Please
No.
don't.
Yeah, no.
They may be cute. Please don't pick up public rats. They
No.
They have
If you want the rat,
diseases,
go
and
to a
you will
pet
have to-
store or a rescue.
Yeah.
Preferably
Yes.
a rescue.
Preferably a rescue.
You guys say this, but I have found like a nest of newborn rats and actually bottle fed them and kept them in the past.
If you know what you're doing, that's different. But if you're a random on the street rat, please leave it alone. Don't try and feed it and make it your friend, please.
Qualified animal attendant and vet nurse is a little different to rando off the
Yes.
street. So
And
yeah, don't do that.
Can I tell you a rat story?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I've been living in my city, and I was like, I never seen a rat. There's no rats here. And then at one of the bus stops, like somewhat late, I was going home and I saw this rat running out of 7-Eleven
That
with,
track.
and
That checks.
I kid you not, a potato chips bag.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yep.
Mhm.
And he just runs out. I'm not joking. He opens the bag and starts snacking
Rats.
in the middle of
Rats
the freaking like
Yep,
payment. And
rats are
he's
clever
like
and
looking
smart.
at me like, "What the fuck are you looking at?" And then
There
he
are
takes the bag
Yes.
and like runs to or scurries where he's going to one of the like the cellar windows. And I'm like,
That
okay, rats here are smart. That's kind of concerning. They
all
know
rats
even
are
how
very
to
clever and
shop
smart.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are
or
three.
steal.
Yeah.
They
There are
shop with you.
3 kind of animals in the world.
Yeah.
I'm very glad they don't have opposable thumbs. Rats, corvids, raccoons, and squid.
Yeah,
have
but that
one
doesn't
more
stop
rat
3
trap.
of those things from being very clever and smart, though.
Yes,
have one
but
more
imagine
thing to
them
add
with
to that.
opposable thumbs.
Yes.
I mean,
I have one
Raccoons-
more creature to add to that list, and that is ferrets.
but raccoons have tiny little hands, so they kind of have semi-opposable thumbs because they can manipulate things like very similar to like humans
Yeah.
and monkeys and stuff.
Yeah, can
but
you imagine if
Raccoons-
squid actually taught their young?
Shit.
No. So
Yeah.
turn rat. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so yes,
Um,
Lavender is under the table, currently feeding the rat, smoking. There's a tiny little cloud forming up on the surface of the table.
You are aware, Lavender, that I have a pet hawk, right?
Yes, and that's why I think it's very unfair that I'm not allowed to have a pet.
I just
Yeah.
mean, what is the natural predator of a rat?
I mean, there's a lot.
One of them is hawks.
Well, that means we just have to teach him not to kill my rat.
I'll get right on that.
But yes, did
Going
you
find
need
ideas.
something?
Did you
We were
hear
having a
anything
discussion.
of what we
Did you hear
said,
anything?
or like what did you hear of the conversation and conferring we just had?
I heard you're getting him ale.
No.
Okay.
About
Yes,
the
that is
people
true.
over there.
But
And
before that, before
Oh,
I
yeah.
called for Lofar to come back.
Yeah, the vermin, the and all that vampire rave, that kind of stuff. Thanks. Yeah.
yes.
I was mentioning
So
how
are you-
dangerous it is. Oh, okay. First of all, can you come sit back up on the booth because I'm tired of looking under the table like this. It is hurting my neck.
Okay. And Sheila Jackson comes up with her pipe, and even like her rat is like up here with her now, and she's like,
Is the rat like seem like chill and like cool? Someone's feeding me, or is like the rat like trying to squirm and get away? Like, what's the rat doing? I'm just not trying to or anything particular. Just curious. Like, is it like cool free food, or is it like please stop, hobbit handling me?
It's not too fond of the being like held bit, but as long as Lavender just keeps shoving bread and cheese into its little snoot,
Food into
it's chill.
Okay.
As soon as she stops, you can see it starts squirming a little bit, trying to get away. But then another piece of cheese comes by, and it's like, "Oh, food!"
Okay.
"This is gonna be a fat rat."
Yes, very.
Very cool.
Well, it lives in a tavern for a reason.
Yes.
Right.
All right. Over at the bar, Lofar, we are rewinding a little bit. You
Yeah, as
have
usual.
stumbled your way over to the bar, and while the bar itself is built for human-sized people, it's not too tall for you. You are still like maybe a head shorter than the average human. Not like Lavender, who's like 2 heads shorter than the average human.
Yeah, she has to be like snapping, like, hello, hello.
And by it broke. I have a fidget toy. Okay, it's broke. And there are a bunch of people sitting along the bar, but you manage to find that one spot where you can just press yourself in, and by the bar, or on the other side of the counter, you see, what was his name? Barnabas Butterbur, the bartender. That is a lot of bees. And
He's still there.
he's still there. Was already there. Yes.
Much younger, less tired.
Yes. And he sees you. Well, he notices you clanking in, chiming slightly from the chainmail. Turns over and looks at you. And, what can I get you?
Baba, I need the ale, please, sir.
I hate to do this to such a good patron, but no.
Oh, come on. You know you want to give me some ale.
Oh, I really do. I like your money, but I don't want to have to carry you out when you pass out.
That's what my friends are for.
Uh,
A wheelbarrow. One of the two. I'm not fussy.
he's gonna look over at your table. Look at the...
And he will see like a person with a
Bro.
rat.
You have 2 people that are sitting here doing this in conversation, and 1 person under the table. We're
With a rat and pipe.
vote of confidence right there.
Lofar. Sorry, but no. Well, yes. If you down this first, and he's gonna pour, he's gonna dunk a tankard into a barrel of water and just clunk it in front of you. Down that first.
He takes the tankard and sniffs it. And it's like, fine. And yeah, as I say. I'm in for props today when I found my axe. Anyway, sorry.
Got an axe and a tankard.
I got an axe and a tankard. I'm good for today.
There
you go. And he literally downs it. He
All right.
kind of pours most of it through his beard. I'm not gonna lie.
Give me a sleight of hand check with disadvantage.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna look like he pissed himself as well.
He's pouring water down his front.
It's gonna
Oh my gosh! I got a crit, but it's a 10.
Oh goodness! Wow. You didn't get a 20 and a 1 though, so you didn't get 2 different kinds of crits. That's good.
Barnabas raises an eyebrow at you. Good enough. And turns around, pours you another pint of ale, clunks it in front of you. Holds
Oh
out his
come on! I'm
hand.
getting a rounding. Can I at least get
No.
3?
No.
2.
If you're ordering for your friends, they can come and order on their own.
Such a spoil sport.
You've
Why
had...
you never sent Lavender to get him? I have no idea.
It looks over at the table again. You've had 9 pints. That's enough.
Oh my goodness gracious!
And
Don't drink this much.
I can drink more. I could drink anyone under the table here.
I'm very sure you can do that. I just don't want to do the cleanup. And also, Actually, I'm going to roll for that to see if he actually notices lavender under the table. Wait, do you actually have it? I think he might actually have a stat block, which would be funny as all get out.
I mean, it would be surprising if he didn't have something on his mind.
God.
He actually does. That's funny. So that is a +2. So we're rolling a d20 +2. For a dirty 20.
Wow. I mean, he's a tavern owner. He's got
Yeah,
good eyes.
he has eagle eyes. It just tilts slightly, looks down, sees lavenders. She shouldn't be playing with those. Those rats are bad. Whenever they show up, people can't seem to sleep. Go tell her that.
Can I get 2 pints? One for me, one for the message.
He places the pint on the counter. How many are there?
There was something.
How many are there?
I mean, you see one.
Yeah. There's only one. I want 2.
Fine. Pours another one. Holds out his hand for payment. No, the ale is just 2 coppers a piece.
Yeah, he has
It's
that money
very
somewhere.
cheap.
Oh, yes, he has that money. He hands over the coppers.
All right. Pocketing the money, you get your tankards and can make your way back to your table, where you see suddenly your companions' heads pop in under the table.
Lothar just kind of gets back to the table, puts his pints down, climbs up onto the seat and says, "Hi, Lavender."
Hello.
Barnabas said you needed to kind of stop playing with the rats.
Why?
Apparently they affect people's sleep whenever they're around.
I will immediately grab the rat and like toss it away from us. Like not like hard, but like at the floor away from us. Like I will try and grab it from you because I know what that means. We've just had a conversation that we're trying to catch up. Like I'm like, oh, that's
She
bad.
will not. She will like protect this rat.
All right.
It's her baby now.
So that would be a contested grapple check. So
Okay, which is Grapple is like
Rosemary
athletics,
rolls
or-
a athletics check,
okay.
and then Lavender, you can roll an athletics or acrobatics to dodge it.
Acrobatics.
Okay. Please roll well for me.
I mean, you
fuck
need to do.
balls. Fuckity fuck.
To be fair, Lavender's under the table. You're trying to reach in under the table.
Oh, okay. I thought that she was already up on the thing that time had caught up to itself, and she was already sitting on the
no.
chair. Okay. Time has not caught up to itself quite yet. Son of a.
Well, I'm
Okay.
I'm going to say that she's on her way up. So
Okay.
it's kind of
Alright.
hard
And now
to.
she's on her way down
She's
again. Seeing that we're trying to
it's
catch the
hard
rat.
to like
Yeah,
hard to like grab the rat because
exactly.
And now I will just imagine
while
her
they're
running away.
squabbling- While they're squabbling, can Naren try and pluck the rat out of her grasp?
Why is she trying to get this rat? Now she's running away.
I mean, sure.
How are you- if you're on wait, where are you sitting on the booth? Because you have to get past like at least one person to run away from the table.
Oh,
She was at the
yes.
end. That's how easy she got basically like sneaky.
Like the opposite end, because like okay. I'm gonna try and trip
I'm
you
happy to
to
leap
keep you
o-
from
I'm
running
happy to
away.
leap over the table too, so.
All right, so
First, they're trying to trick me. They're trying to catch me.
I'm trying really hard to get rid of this rat. Having heard Lofar said, like, oh, whenever the rats show up, people like they affect people's sleep, and it's like I'm like looking at like giving like side eyes to Naran, like we need to get rid of the
Yeah.
rat. So I'm gonna try and like do it as I tried to do it as kindly as possible. Now I'm just gonna try and attempt to trip her so that the rat hopefully like she loses her grip and the rat runs off.
Oh, no. Naren wants to grab that rat.
all right. So first of all,
Well, I already
Naren.
went, so you go first.
Yeah,
You try and grab the rat.
Naren. It will be another athletics check, contested with Lavender.
Acrobatics, since
shit.
you're running away.
Acrobatics or athletics, that's your choice.
I rolled a 5, so this will not go well.
Oh,
Yeah.
See, that's the guts!
Lavender, you managed to dodge again out of the way, and Rosemary, or Bethuela, I can't pronounce that. It's gonna be Rosemary. My tongue, I just bit my tongue trying to pronounce Bethuel.
you're fine. It's not a commonly known name anyway, so
So
it would be great if
Rosemary,
it gets revealed to the viewers, but not like known from the start.
yeah. So Rosemary, you can try to trip her.
Yes, and I feel horrible, but I'm so very concerned because like I don't know, even with the high roll, like Naren and I don't know after conferring like how do the servants work? Like can
Yeah.
like their masters see through them or like know what's going on, or do they just like follow basic commands? So I'm immediately in like, oh, this is like alert danger mode. And we need to get rid of this rat because if we're going to make plans, I don't want to risk any like the agents of the darkness and the agents of the shadow like getting wind of what we're trying to like prepare to do.
Yeah. So that would
So
be.
I feel really bad, but I'm still going to try and
Yeah.
trip her so that hopefully she loses grip of the rat.
All right, that would be an either an athletics or acrobatics check. That is your choice.
Okay. Well, I don't have acrobatics, so we're going to do athletics. And hope that it rolls better. Son of a bitch face. I'm sorry I'm cursing so much, everybody. I don't normally do that except when I'm frustrated and my dice suck balls.
If
Oh,
you're
before
under
you
the
say
age of
anything-
18, get the fuck out.
Before you say anything, Adana, let me just count something. 7 and 8 is 15. It's not worth it to try. To try and even give you a thingy.
Bonus.
bonus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have never
Well-
never rolled so poorly in the like 20 years I've been playing D&D type games.
So Lavender, give me a dex save. You need to beat a 7.
I'm sorry, but fail.
No,
Question mark?
not a roll. Just it's a save. But
Oh.
it
Son
was
of
a
a-
save. Yes, 16.
Yeah.
In the commotion all around, you feel your foot get snagged on something, Lavender, but you manage to slip out of it and then back away.
So basically what they see is her going down the table with the rat. Like the rat is like, yeah, after her. And then she's under the table, dodging everyone, and then basically coming out of the table, having the rat up in the air and running.
I'm gonna.
So you're
check.
holding
that
the
weird
rat in the air?
She held the rat in the air
montage
first,
of-
and then like,
Okay,
no,
yeah,
you're
I got it.
saying you've got this rat held up in the air, right?
No, she did this as she basically like tried to like make sure that you didn't catch her, and then like held it so it was up while she was getting up again from under the table, snugged it into her, and then like running away.
Ah, okay.
As
No,
you're
your hawk
running,
is not getting food.
as you're running, Lavender, you start feeling like on your hand.
I'm
As the
trying to save you.
Strat is squirming and trying to bite you. I rolled a 12 to hit. It's not going to beat your armor class, but it's trying to get through your leather gloves.
So basically, she's running out, like kicking out, like someone opened the door, most likely, to the tavern. She's running out. With her pipe in her mouth, people.
This is not going well.
Well, at least it's not near us anymore.
Fair. But we don't know what
What it heard.
capabilities servants of the shadow can do. Let alone
Would, having been in Mirkwood, which is closer to the shadow,
Mhm.
Ardana, would I be able to roll some kind of check to learn more about this, or to figure out what I know about that?
like
It's gonna be a tough roll.
Yep.
If you're looking for like specific, like if you're
be like how do sorry, go ahead.
if you're trying to find out like broadly, most people who have studied the shadow studied the darkness out of Mordor would know certain things that you don't even have to roll for. But if you're specifically trying to find out about wraiths, ghouls, or vampires, that would be a pretty high roll because they're not that common. Like wraiths and ghouls are, yes, but not vampires. Vampires are very rare.
Okay. I'm just,
So it
What if
depends
it
on
was
what
like
you're
just
trying
for
to.
servants? Like how do animal servants of these
Okay.
like beings, like do they have a certain level of intelligence, or are they just like this is just a normal rat that follows basic commands of its master, or is it like the master can see through its eyes and can hear through its senses, like
All right, yeah.
because I
That
mean maybe that's still a high roll, but
it's still a high
like,
roll. It would be a
that's what-
DC 15 old lore kind of roll,
okay.
but
Can I help in any way on that? Like because we're conferring together to
yeah,
try and like kind
you
of
can either roll
figure this out.
separately or one person gets advantage.
Do you want advantage since you're kind of pulling from your knowledge of like being more familiar with like the darkness around Mirkwood specifically, and mine's just more kind of like community knowledge?
I wouldn't mind that. Just give me a
Okay.
second.
Yeah. So yeah, because it's your idea, but like in us conferring together, I'm sort of like
Yeah.
pinpointing, sort of like actually, think about this kind of specific versus like we're not focusing on vampire or race specifically.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like what do their animal servants do? Do we have knowledge of that? So like I think that you would, that like to help you focus kind of like on what sort of information you're trying to pull up from your memory. So I think you should have the advantage on that.
Okay, I'm just checking something because I should have. No, there's a craft slot. Rhymes of law.
So it should be under your skills if you've had to add them to your skills on the character sheet.
Yes,
Yeah, I haven't
unfortunately.
Those, but no, I think I'm
Old
going
lore
to
isn't.
Rhymes of law, which will give me the D8 bonus as well on that.
All right.
Nice. Well, old lore is an intelligence skill, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
that should be great for you because I think intelligence is probably your
yeah, my
one of your
intelligence
higher
is my
stats.
highest stat. It is my highest stat.
Yeah.
I've got scholar tradition law. What does that do?
Yeah, I had to hand add all of the Lord of the Rings specific or
Yep.
Middle Earth specific skills to my skills because
Oh, I've
none
got
of them
Lore
would be
Master.
beyond. Okay, you got Lore Master. Oh, that's helpful.
That lets me reroll my lore die. Okay.
Ooh.
So yeah, I don't have that law skill.
Hmm.
So what do I roll?
It would be an intelligence check with wait, are you proficient in old lore?
Doesn't show that on my proficiencies, but I don't know.
Rhymes of
I mean, you would
lore.
have had to like willingly take it as like one of your skill proficiencies under the like specifics of the Middle Earth like character
wait.
stuff.
All proficiencies inside old law.
Yes.
So yes, I do.
Yeah, you
Okay.
do. Awesome.
So
Perfect.
it is a intelligence check plus your proficiency bonus, so +3, and then plus your d8.
So if I rolled an intelligence saving throw, that would be the same thing because
No,
that's a
check.
+7.
Intelligence check, not save.
Yeah, but no. What I'm saying is intelligence
Oh,
check
number-wise.
+3 is
Or-
just an intelligence save
Yes.
for me.
Yeah.
So if I roll
you're
that, I
saying
don't have
for
to
your
roll.
numbers for you. Okay.
Yeah, for my numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I will roll that just because it's easier, and then I'll roll my d8 twice. And I roll that with
Cool.
advantage, actually, because I'm getting advantage from friend.
Yes.
Yep.
Because we are conferring together as people who know stuff.
Okay,
Yes.
that's 1.
Or hopefully know stuff.
Okay, so
Ooh,
it's a
glad.
nat 11 plus a d8 that I roll twice.
Yeah.
So I'll just roll 2.
Ooh. Okay.
So that's
So
an 8 there. So that would be a 19.
Okay.
not bad.
With a 19, you remember hearing stories about familiars in this way, and normally they do with a 19, I'd say you do know that they will have to be within a certain distance from a servant like this to be able to hear and see through their eyes. But normally, the servants will just basically act as scouts. They will run out and then come back to where their master is, relay that information to their master, and then run out again. They're not like scrying stones, so to speak. They're more like scouts.
Okay. Okay. So like the master has to like focus on that servant to be able to use its sensor,
Yeah.
like, its senses.
And
Yeah,
it cannot
so it's
be
not just like always connected.
No, they're not always connected. There has to be an active choice, and they have to be it's a pretty short distance. They have to be pretty
so
close to be able to do that.
Naren is just going to say quietly, "Just chances are low that that its master has heard anything, but we cannot let it get back to them.
No, that is fair.
We need to have a talk with Lavender."
Well, hopefully she didn't go too far. She didn't take food with her, so the rat is probably going to get very antsy and start biting her if she doesn't have things to feed it with. Because it is still a rat, still has its
Right.
animal tendencies.
So he is going to move quickly out the door where she came and just call out, "Lavender, please stop. We need to talk about this."
They've tried to take her rat.
Please stop. Please.
What's Lofar doing? Are you drinking? Are you just like listening to what's going on? Because you don't have any idea why we were trying to grab the rat. Like we haven't updated you yet necessarily. So I don't like. What are you? Are you just kind of like drunkenly watching this all go down? Like what are you doing? I'm curious what he's doing.
Exactly that. Lofar has raised his pint to Lavender as she's run out of the table as a bit of a cheers for getting away from you. And he's started the second pint he's brought back from the bar. He's now on number 11.
Okay. Lofar, hey. Look at me. Put your drink down for a sec. How drunk are you? Like, how many fingers am I holding up? I'm gonna hold up like 3 fingers.
Yes, please give me a con save.
How many fingers are you holding up? And yes, I hold up fingers the British way, which is actually the ASL way because I can't make W's, and that means 3 in ASL. So I'm
Yes.
holding it up the other way.
There are well,
6.
6
7.
fingers and about 3 rosemaries.
When did you grow an extra head?
Okay, you're too drunk for this. I have not grown an extra head. Lavender is in danger, and the rat companion she has found belongs to something very dangerous. The people you were talking to, Norin and I, conferred, and there's something very dangerous trying to get at them at their farm. And we were discussing going and taking care of it. But we need to get the rat away from Lavender because she's in possible danger. And she will not listen to us that the rat is a problem.
Right. I have an idea. And the tankard he was about to drink, he tips over his head. In an attempt to wake himself up.
Right. Would it be... I don't know. I don't want to be like accidentally metagamey, but would it be possible, having traveled around and being like, I'm not nearly as proficient with like healing as maybe some of my brethren are, but traveling around with Lofar as long as I have and us working together, would I maybe have something on me to like some sort of drink or like tincture or something to like maybe like help fast track the sober process, or at least like take some of the like migraine headache off or something to like help him focus? Like, I don't specifically have anything written down on my character sheet, but I wonder if I would have gotten something from one of my brethren for like
as an experienced ranger, I'd say that you have been around people getting very drunk. The fastest ways to get people to sober up is greasy food, dunking them in water. They won't get sober, but they get alert.
Yes, I just need him alert.
Yeah. Coffee usually helps with the sober. Again, it won't sober them up, but increases alertness. And willow bark will help with the headache.
Okay. Let me see here.
And water will help with the headache.
Walking?
Water.
Right. Okay. So would I have I can roll for it to see like if
I'd say that you would have willow bark on you as a standard.
I was gonna ask, that one seemed the most obvious for like
it's not
because it would help me traveling around too.
Exactly. You would have that. It like willow bark doesn't heal you. It's just a painkiller. So I'd say
when you're like, I need to be more awake now. I cannot sleep. Yeah, I just want to make him alert enough. Nothing but time's gonna help sober him up, but I need him to be like alert in case we need him, because we need him to go after help us go after Lavender. So like kind of dig into like I have like a little pouch I keep like on my belt, so like it's easy access, and I'm gonna pull out some willow bark and just kind of like shove it in his mouth and go, please chew on this. And he hopefully doesn't fight me because he knows what I'm doing right now.
He's gathered the importance. He's poured his 11th pint over his head in an attempt to use it as water shock tactics to kind of sober him up slightly.
You're still pouring alcohol over yourself, though.
It's better.
I will also push my half-filled tankard towards him. It's for him to also pour over his head because, he thinks it's helpful.
Yes.
There are also, there are water troughs outside for pack animals, and you can probably ask the bartender for coffee, but coffee is expensive. It's very expensive.
One step at a time.
One
step at a time.
But that's things you would know as you have been here before. You know these things are around.
Fair. We gotta get him alert enough to stand first. while he's doing that, I'm gonna kind of like, well, I don't think we have much to gather up on our table because we pay for drinks as we get them.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna like kind of gather my stuff and kind of like try and get Naran's attention to come gather his stuff because he went to the door to yell after her. And try and help Lofar get his self together so we can and get Lavender's whatever Lavender left behind so we can go after her.
Lavender
Alright.
doesn't have
Uh,
much stuff. She's basically had
Naren's
everything on
out
her.
the door.
She doesn't
Like,
have armor or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, Naren's out the door. He's, probably shouldered
Oh,
his
you're
pack.
not at the door. You actually left like to go
Yeah,
outside.
he
outside.
went
Okay.
after her.
Okay. Well,
he's
then I will gather up your
outside.
stuff.
Yeah.
I will gather up your stuff along with with my stuff then, so we don't leave anything behind because I don't know if we're gonna be coming back or not.
And yeah, he's just there. He's just, we need to talk about this. Trying to, not trying to take the rat now, just trying to talk her down a little so
Find
he
her?
can explain. So he can explain basically what's going on.
All right.
Yeah.
So outside, Norin, it's not difficult for you to catch up with Lavender once you catching her is a different matter because she has proven to be very slippery. But you being a good two heads taller than she is and have very much longer legs. It is muddy and a bit slippery outside. The past few days it's been raining. But is there actually a speed difference between hobbits and elves? I do think there is.
My speed is 30 feet.
My speed is 30 as well.
Okay, so it's not really a speed difference. There's no speed difference between the two of you.
Yeah.
But Lavender,
Yeah,
you are running with moving with a rat that wants to be put down. It wants to get on the
Yeah,
ground
it's just-
again. You're not feeding it anymore. It's
Yeah.
very
No,
upset.
Lavender.
So basically,
Lavender.
if I'm
You have
allowed,
to run.
Yes,
Go ahead.
Lillith.
as she's basically turned the corner, like where no one could see her because she got out of the inn before anyone. She was basically sprinting out, and she's small, so she gets easily around. I would believe.
Yeah,
So she
dodging
would
and weaving
basically-
is not a problem.
Yeah, she would have basically started feeling the rat like not happy with her running. So as she had turned a corner or something, she would have put the rat down and been like, "I'm so sorry, be free."
Oh no.
Oh goodness gracious.
Um,
And then started
Okay.
running off, pretending she still has the rat.
What would I have seen?
Give me a perception check, Naran.
Oh goodness. Perception. I've got a +5 to that. Let's hope I don't roll like shit.
Right?
That's a 21.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You see Lavender disappear around the corner and then come back out again. And as she runs off, you notice a tiny shadow running out from around the corner and then vanishing in under the floorboards of the prancing pony. Like the not the floorboards, it's not called that. It's called the foundation around, like under. So you see this like small body just shoot in under into the foundation of the inn.
Oh, Lavender.
You tried to take my rat.
Unfortunately, that rat may be part of the reason that those folks over there cannot sleep. It may be the familiar of an unseemly creature.
Oh.
It will now be able to report, if so, it will be able to report back to its master that there are people on their trail.
But wouldn't that mean that their master is under the foundation?
Not necessarily. It may have just gone under there so I couldn't kill it.
But it has to leave if it wants to tell its master.
Yes, but if that is a rat den, there are probably many, many holes, entrances and exits out from under those foundations.
As you say that, Naron, letting the 21 carry over, out of the corner of your eye, you see. So, the entire town is surrounded by like a wooden and stone wall with gates at the east and west ends that lead out onto the east road. As you're standing there looking, you see this like the both gates are closed, but you see shadows start moving under the gates of the western side. Oh no, eastern side. Can't really tell how many, but they small, rat-sized, keep coming under the door or under the gate, and moving and splitting into smaller groups and vanishing among the residential houses to the northern end.
He's going to show Lavender this. Just see, agents.
Can I have one?
No, they're evil.
The one I had wasn't evil, he just wanted food.
He may have very well been evil. Look, I'll let you share my hawk.
Can I have a ferret?
We'll get you a ferret. I will personally pay for a ferret from some farmer that hunts rabbits or something. I'll see to it that it happens. And he's going to just pinch the bridge of his nose and just look up to the sky and then think about it and make a hawk call to call his hawk to him.
All right. Yeah. It takes maybe 30 seconds, and then you see the familiar shape of your hawk just down and come in for landing. The skies are overcast and cloudy. A little bit of moonlight slips through as the clouds are moving, but looking up, you can tell that you're currently having a very short respite from the past few days of raining, and the rain is very likely to start up at any time.
Best I bring you inside anyway. I know how much you hate your feathers getting wet. Look.
It's about
Lavender.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say, it was about at this point I would expect Lothar and Rosemary to kind of stumble out of the tavern. Well, Lothar to stumble, Rosemary to
Walk.
keep us all going.
Is walking behind him to make sure he does not stumble too much.
Yes.
So he doesn't like face plant in the like mud and dirt and stuff. But
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
more or less, as soon as we get outside, Lothar will shout, "Lavender, if you give me the rat, you can put flowers in my beard."
It got away. It got away.
I rescind
Oh.
that offer.
And he's going to. Yep. He's going to gently move his hawk from his shoulder onto his hand and offer to put it on Lavender's shoulder. Just, why don't you take him for now? and he'll make sure no more unwanted friends come your way.
And when he looks away after he's on Lavender's shoulder, she will just grab the hawk gently and put it in front of her and just walk with him.
The hawk looks very unhappy. Not fighting you, but just
Really?
This is probably not
resigned
the
to its
first time.
fate.
I am not a chicken. I am a predator.
Exactly. All right, and I think okay. I feel that this could
Now
be.
that we're all outside.
Yes, now that you're all outside, what would
For
you like
no
to
reason
do?
now. Well,
Lofar
I
is
mean, as
currently,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Lofar is currently ducking his head in a water trough.
Yep.
He's basically been told he has to sober up.
Yeah. And
I
he,
realized it.
I would imagine, doesn't like chewing willow bark because it tastes pretty gross, actually.
Yes, it's rapidly been spat out in the water trough whilst he's currently bathing in it.
Fair. And
it-
I just have like a handful of like things because I don't want to mess up Norin's like notes and stuff. So I'm just kind of like holding all of it, like I scooped it off the table and just like very gingerly holding all of it because I don't want to mess anything up, but I was not going to leave it behind.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, and at this
Thank
point, now that she's standing up, she's very, very tall for a humanoid-looking person. Like you'd think that she was just like a very, very like tall elf. She's like 6'6" equivalent, and it's like, but you didn't know that when she was sitting down. And I say that because of people watching and stuff. That like she's very tall, and
Yes.
you wouldn't know that because of the way that she sits, and she sits that way on purpose. But like standing up, she does not hunch or like hide her height in any way. So like it's very obvious that like there's something strange with her because she's much taller than like everyone else around her. But she's just like holding. I'm trying to get it on camera, but like I just am very gingerly and protectively holding whatever Noron had out on the table, because I wasn't going to leave it behind. But getting Lavender safe was more important.
Yep. So he'll take his book and his parchment and his quill and ink pot and stick them back in his pack. Just thank you. I may have
So
well.
yeah. Okay. So no rat. I
Uh,
apologize, Lavender, for trying to put you in danger in that way. I was trying to get rid of the rat as quickly as possible rather than take a very long time to explain to you why it was dangerous. So I apologize for trying to hurt you.
It would have been better if you did explain, so I didn't have to feel like you were threatening my pet.
Fair.
We'll get you a proper pet. Isn't evil.
If you want a rat, I know some people. We can get you one that's not evil.
Speaking of
and
evil
you
rats,
will see her. She will hold like the hawk under her one arm now, like a chicken, and she will spread lavender flowers into like the water where he's bathing, so he smells good.
The hawk is just like,
I
all
love
right,
chicken.
we're doing this. Okay.
I start splashing because I know the hawk doesn't like water on it.
Rude.
It's more because I'm hoping the hawk will dig its claws into Lavender so that Lavender will stop putting flowers in the trough. We're in like a little bit of a petty circle here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just like a normal back and forth between
Yes.
Yeah.
friends.
So Naren is just going to go. Speaking of evil rats, I saw several of them come under the gate yonder and disperse throughout the town.
That's probably not good.
It's disturbing. In fact, no, you can't have one.
No. But you mentioned the tired people.
Yes.
Yes.
You had to go through the gate.
Yes.
Maybe that's where the thing is. Yes.
Yes, that was my initial thought. It's possible that the problem has now come to the town if that many rats have come in and dispersed amongst the town.
That
Because
was my thought too.
their master has to be in very close proximity to them to cause problems. So
Or the creatures are scouting for the family, for their master.
oh yes, quite right.
But
Yes.
you said that he was asking stupid questions.
Well, they said that they felt the family said the questions were stupid. So
Well, maybe they took something that says.
that is entirely possible.
Hmm.
And
We
maybe you just
still
want it back.
that's possible. It's still worth going and checking out the farmhouse and seeing if things are there. We can't do much about the rats at the moment, if at all. I don't know that we want to go do this in the middle of the night, though.
I mean,
Well, that's the only time the thing is active.
She holds up the hawk and be like, "Well, you can ask the hawk to like pick them up and like drop them down one by one."
He'd be more likely to eat them.
Fair.
Okay.
Do we
And,
go do this now? We
ask me.
can't do much about the rats, regardless.
No. Besides
Maybe they
asking
are
that,
just scouting.
yes. Besides asking that bird to do anything,
Sure.
no.
Do
He's here
we?
because he wants to be.
Well, I'm going to presume we're probably not going to be using our room tonight if we're going to go to this farmhouse.
No.
We
Should
give
we
it to those
talk?
very tired people, maybe, so they have a more comfortable place to sleep.
Yes. We should also ask them for permission to enter the farmhouse, I believe. Would be the polite thing to do.
Yes, fair. Fair. We should move back inside then, temporarily at least. It's less safe to talk out here.
Yes.
I mean, the rat is under the floorboard, so I don't know if it's very safe inside either.
Oh, yes.
It's safer around all of the other people than it is just us out here right now. We don't know who may be listening. And something dangerous is not likely to start trouble amongst a large group like people in a tavern.
True.
And we're not that far from the door, so I'm just gonna like hold the door, move back to the door and like hold it open for them. And kind of pat Lofar on the back as he's dunking himself.
Lofar falls in because he wasn't quite upright.
Oh,
Is it short enough for you? Is it short enough for you to fall in? Like,
yeah.
or are you like lifting yourself up on the like lid of it and like dunking yourself in? Like, how tall is this barrel that you fall into it? Like,
Well, it's about 4.5 foot tall, right? So like he's kind of like hoisted himself up slightly, and his legs are kicking out, and he's ducking his head, and you've patted him on the back, and now he's just dived headfirst into the trough. His legs are just in the air now. It's just like underwater.
okay.
Well, that's the thing that just happened.
I mean, I'm gonna fish him out. I hope, because I don't think you can get out by yourself.
Oh, well, he kind of manages to turn himself around, and he kind of like comes out drowned rat, and just kind of like spits out a stream of water. I was like, okay, I'm sober-ish.
You're alert. Sober comes with time.
Yes, and he attempts to climb out of the trough.
It's annoying to climb out of the trough. All your clothes are sopping wet. You're wearing chainmail, and the while the trough is cleaned regularly, so it's not really all that. There's no algae or anything like that in it. It's still a bit slippery because wood gets slippery when it's filled with water. But
It's also
eventually,
probably completely full of horse saliva.
yeah, that too. And but you managed to eventually crawl yourself out of the trough and onto the muddy ground around you. Still dripping wet, and you feel that a night chill starts settling in because you are sopping wet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he starts shaking like a dog.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, come on. To the fire.
now I smell like
The fire.
ale and dwarf. Disgusting. There's
All
nothing worse than the smell of a wet dwarf.
Oh, I've smelled worse. I personally have smelled worse. Myself, my being, has smelled worse. In addition to smelling worse things in the world. He's fairly decent right now, actually.
Hearing
Yeah.
Lothar, hearing that he smells quite badly, and that Naren has said that he smells so particularly bad, he will turn and say, "Well, at least I don't smell like a flower's farted."
I would prefer that.
All right. Back
Yes.
inside the prancing pony, as you walk in, you see the three, what you would guess are brothers sitting around the table. The woman, you can't really tell until you walk further in, and she has taken that spot you recommended by the fireplace and is currently curled up on a heap of blankets.
Lothar goes over and immediately starts dripping on her.
Rude. That's so rude.
Why?
Manners!
Why would?
Manners!
Oh, it's the dwarf from before. Why you go away? You're dripping on me.
I know. I want the spot.
You said I could sleep here.
I said it was the best spot to sleep in the tavern. I didn't give you permission to sleep there.
It's not your
Lothar,
tavern.
Stop.
I just want to get dry-ish. Besides, you guys wanted to talk to her. She's awake. And I'll move over to where the fireplace is.
She quickly just
and out of
gathers
her
the
way.
blankets and just gets up, steps out of the way, swaying slightly, looking at this. Is he always
I
like this?
apologize. Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes he's worse.
Mm.
My condolences.
Look,
Um,
why don't you go ahead? Petal.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said, why don't you go ahead, Petal?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying something out of character, and I was just like, no, you go first. I kind of side eye you, but not in like a bad way. Just kind of like not very fond of that name, but I understand why you call me that sometimes. My dwarven friend was talking to you earlier, and we happened to overhear what you and I'm guessing brothers, cousins, family said about the troubles you're having at your farm. We would like to take care of that for you or investigate further, figure out what's going on. And we happen to have a room here, which we're not going to need tonight if you were to accept our help in solving this problem for you. And we would gladly let you have use of our room for the night. And
Okay. That's kind of you. Give me a persuasion check.
sure. Let's hope I roll well. Yay!
Yay!
Very funny.
Yay.
It's okay. This is like an important roll. The other ones were not as important. Rolls. This is
She
a
look-
higher stakes roll.
She looks at you, and you can see like completely bloodshot eyes, deep dark circles or half moons under her eyes, and she's, if you can help fix whatever is happening, make them whatever that is stop. You're welcome to investigate or search the entire farm if you want.
I have one small question for you.
Hmm.
Have you had a minor rat problem at your farm lately?
We have, yes.
More
Why
than
do you
usual.
ask? Our cats kept
Um.
vanishing and coming back days later, as if they ran off.
Well, eh, a rat infestation can be a symptom of several things. Unsavory things being around. That's all.
Yes.
Well, rats in the larder is usually unsavory in itself.
Yes. In this case, from what we overheard you telling our friend, and it could be a sign of something more dangerous in this case, so it's important for us to know if it's more out of the ordinary. Obviously,
Oh.
being on a farm and out in nature, there's going to be rats and other
Yeah, we
pests from time to time.
usually have maybe, well, our cats would come in with mice and rats every other day. It's not uncommon. Usually not in the house, but the past week or so, we've had 8, 9 rats in the house almost daily that we've had to chase out.
Yes.
Yes, that's
I also, and he's going to look at Rosemary and sort of unspoken just give her a nod that he plans on telling her about the rats that have just come into town. And he's going to wait for a second to see what your reaction to that is.
I'm gonna kind of she kind of furrows her brows for a moment, thinking that like they're already so beleaguered, which is a fancy word that I like using in this moment. They're
Yes.
so like very clearly extra exhausted. They're so run down and like already worried about what's going on that like would telling them worry them more, given that like we're giving them our room for the night, or you know, and I'm thinking about like versus letting them know that like the rats are here now, and I'm gonna after like it seems like more than like a few seconds, but it probably is just like a few seconds. I'm gonna like very slowly kind of like shake my head no, and sort of like I'll explain later.
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
he'll
pull out like a key or something. I'm assuming the like rooms have some sort of key or some sort of
Yeah.
way of like
So
so
you
people
would
don't
do-
just randomly walk into the rooms that
Yeah,
aren't like
no,
theirs.
you've been. There is one key for the room that you got. So whoever has that key can hand it over, and
Hold on to that because
Yeah.
reasons. I'm not giving it to maybe Naron, but I'm not giving it to Lofer or Lavender because maybe Lavender, but probably not Lofer because he might lose it when he gets too drunk.
I have, you know, he has a special ring. He has a special necklace underneath his beard that he puts his keys on.
I don't know if I necessarily know that though, or that you would know which one is the room key, and I'm not spending 20 minutes waiting for you to try all the keys. I just keep the key. I'm gonna like pull it out from wherever I have it or whatever, and I'm gonna hand it to. Do you want me to hand this to you or to your table companions?
Oh well. I'm here. I can take it, and I'll tell them.
Okay.
Uh,
Yes. Before you all go off to hopefully get a good night's sleep, is there anything about this person that comes into your room? Like, do you know what they look like or sound like? How do they leave your room? Or are they there all the time?
well, at first we thought it was just dreams caused by marsh gas, but then, well, she sounds kind and old. She looks like. She looks over to Naren, kind of like him,
Hmm.
but I'd never
Hmm.
seen her leave. There's always a knock and a question if they can come in. But after the
And
first time, she just appeared.
okay.
Like, the knock
Is
is
it,
always there, and then she just appears.
but that very first time this started happening, she asked if she could be invited into your home.
Yes, I thought it was a dream, so I said yes, because it wasn't
Hmm.
real.
Okay. And nothing else has happened but her sort of asking these questions and appearing and then somehow disappearing. She's not there during the day, obviously. It's
No,
just when you're sleeping.
just when we're sleeping, and well, her appearing and the rats, nothing has changed. No.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
In the future, if you're having a strange dream and people ask if they can come into your home, just say no by way of
No, yeah.
caution. But yes, here's the key for you and your table companions. And we're gonna go see if we can make your farm safe
Yes.
again.
Yes.
Look out for
Well,
evil rats.
aren't all rats some form of evil?
No, not all of them.
The one I had was very nice. He just ate food.
Yes.
Okay.
Some rats are more annoying than others, but and I'm just gonna like hand her the key and sort of like move out of the way so she can like move, down like the little aisle that's there or like whatever, like past me to the table if she so wants to,
Oh,
because I kind of pick up a lot of space when I'm
yeah.
standing there.
She looks at you as, well, my cousin, that guy, and she points to one of the three men. His name is Landon. He has the key to the main building. Oh, and
Uh,
she fishes out another key. This is for the barn.
okay.
Thank you.
Lavender, do you want to go get the key from Landon for us?
And she just trots over with the hawk under her arm.
Carrying it like a chicken.
Yes,
That's the funniest
he's
thing.
just like,
She's carrying the hawk like a chicken. Very perturbed hawk.
yeah. Meanwhile, the hawk is like plotting murder. You can clearly see. It's just there.
Just see it.
Oh, she is going to end up so pecked. So pecked.
And she will just like look at the guy, put the hawk on his face, and start looking for the key.
Can I help you, miss?
Oh, I just need key.
For what?
Oh, we're trading it for our room so we can go get rid of your rats.
You could have just asked.
Hawk
And she,
talons to the face.
and she
Oh
takes
my
the
God.
keys, takes back the hawk, puts it under the arm, and just like, see ya.
Hobbits, I swear. What?
Yeah, I just. Rosemary just kind of like internally sighs because
Nara
could have just asked.
quietly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Naren Rosemary is just going to lean in and just go quietly in Elvish, basically. Just
Yeah.
that hawk is going to cover her in droppings tomorrow, I swear.
Well, if it doesn't peck her eyes out first. I'm
Oh, it's
answering back
true.
in the same language.
Yep.
And I will, yeah. And so I guess now that we have the keys, yay. Now what do we do?
Yes. So,
Um,
I think this is
keys.
a good place to take a short break. Because I need to refill my
Yeah.
water and unhydrate. So let's grab a 5-minute break, 5 to 10 minutes,
Okay.
and try it again.
I got to
Yeesh.
go to the little people's room
Yeesh. So
My back teeth are floating.
after my cat got
Same.
comfortable.
that I was about to say that was a very big cat, or it is very close to the camera.
Well, kind of both, but he's also a big furry orange fluff ball, so he is
Yeah.
kind of big. But like my distance from my camera is like I'm full back against my thing, and I can almost touch my camera. So like he is relatively
Yeah.
close because I have a tiny lap. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so 5-minute break. I need to go.
Yes. 5-minute break. Catch you in about 5 minutes. Bye bye. Hello, and welcome on back in. I hope everyone took the opportunity to get some refreshments, get unhydrate, rehydrate, all that fun stuff. I found my notion in my fridge.
Unhydrate.
Yes, unhydrate. Lillith has disappeared into the fogs because camera decides to not. I think you need to turn the blur off.
I mean, it's the cons of committing to the bit.
Yes. I am not changing this.
No, I love the bit. I logged into Twitch because I just did, so I have it in another tab. I occasionally am switching over and I see people going like, why are the cameras weird? It's called commitment to the bit, folks.
In fact, I'm gonna have to change this up a bit. I'm gonna have to change the camera angle and move the desk down because my shoulders.
It's commitment to the bit in a non-harmful and absolutely hysterical way.
Yes. All right.
You
Well,
horrible cat.
your camera.
Unfortunately, if I committed to that part of the bit, you would just see my ceiling, and
Yeah.
that wouldn't help anybody at all.
No. All right. So we are
I'm not actually 6'6" in real life.
Well, my husband is 6'4.5", and I think he's very tall.
I'm only 6'2".
Which is saying something because you're pretty tall from my perspective too. So that's
Yeah, I'm
saying
5'8",
something.
so
Yeah.
my younger sister is 6 foot tall. Never mind that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yes.
Very tall.
Yes.
I am very, very short.
I used to be the shortest in my family, but my parents have started shrinking.
Yay!
Because it happens with age.
Yay!
Yeah.
I used to be shortest by
my
half an inch.
grandmother-
So
My grandma's like 4'5" or something now.
yeesh.
Oh goodness.
All right. So you find
Thanks.
yourselves outside the stone and wooden walls of Bree. The night is very dark out here. You can see the distant torchlights. Of the town itself. And way off in the distance, a slight silhouette of a building or several buildings, but no more than that. The area is dark, muddy. The trees in the far distance seem to almost loom over the landscape, and then even further off you have the flatlands, flat from this perspective, known as Midgewater Marsh.
Which direction are we facing outside of town? Did we go out the east gates or the west gates?
To get to the farm, the east gates would be the closest, but you have to go
Okay.
around the walls along a
Yeah.
thinner dirt road,
Got it.
mud at this
Okay.
point, and slightly north.
Okay.
Uh,
So we're going like northeast-ish.
yeah. So it's
Okay,
the farm is
cool.
more towards the Chetwoods than the marshes. So the
Okay.
woods are at the northern end of this area, and then you have the marshes to the northeast, and then you have the old
Mm.
forest to the west.
Okay. Okay.
So the farm is kind of in that area between the marshes the woods, and the town itself.
Okay. So they're just in great. They're
Mm,
just in a great spot for creepy stuff.
yeah, there was a reason the land was cheap when they bought it. Because no one was dumb enough to settle there.
They're like, yeah, we don't want to be by a creepy marsh where people died and spirits may linger.
Mm-hmm. You as a
Okay.
ranger would also know that there are multiple ruins all throughout this area.
Mm-hmm.
Weathertop, one of the more famous ones. It abandoned guard tower that fell to
Yes.
ruin hundreds of years ago. On the other side of the marshes, however, it would take you about 3 days along the east road to get there. But you're heading northeast towards this farm. I'm going to guess at least one of you has some torch or a lantern with you, because otherwise, apparently elves don't have dark vision in this setting.
No. There's no
Oh.
no such thing as dark vision. Unless you're like one of the shadows, maybe. But
Oh no,
I sort of took some of the standard
robot!
Robot.
or stuff like that. But
Jackson, you're very robotic. I don't think we lost you.
Oh yeah.
I do not have a torch.
No, you don't get the standard adventure impacts playing this game.
No, but you're level 5, so I'm gonna assume at least one of you have some torch or lantern. Because otherwise that would be dumb.
Yes.
Yeah. I for sure do. Other people probably do too. But...
Yay, you're almost back. Discord decided to have a stroke or something.
Oh, okay. Nothing was going on my end, so I was like, I don't know what to fix. But yeah, I for sure have a torch.
All right.
On me because I travel so much.
Yeah, Discord seems to be struggling a bit, but that's Discord things. Yeah, with the torch, you can see up to about you have 15 foot of bright light around you, and then an additional 15 feet of dim light, so you can see things around you. There's a slight fog coming off the ground from the multiple days of raining.
Mm-hmm.
And as you move, it's about, say, half an hour outside of town, you get to this stone wall, about hip high stone wall that seems to wrap around a homestead.
Hip high for who? We have like 4 different heights going on. Hip high for
hip
who?
height for Naren.
Okay. Okay.
So
Just
about,
for the
I'd
visual.
say 3 feet tall.
Okay.
Stone wall.
Got it.
It seems to be wrapping around this homestead. You can't see from one end to the other, but you can see a couple of buildings. There is what looks like a 2-story main building, and then you have what looks like a barn with big double doors at one side, a chicken coop to one end, and a smaller, almost like a shed, but that has been fenced in. So you're guessing some form of smaller critter, possibly goats.
Okay.
But it's hard to tell from this distance, and you don't see anything like moving in the light that
Right.
you have.
Right. And it would be fair to assume that, like, in the intervening, that we've caught, like, everyone is on the same page about, like, the description of, like, the dream and the fact that, like, something has been invited into the home and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Because I don't know if, like, all of us were in the group when we were asking questions of the
No, I
lady.
I would
But I just-
assume that you've shared that information as you were
Yeah.
walking along
Yeah.
Okay.
to
Fair.
the farmhouse.
So we're in danger.
Yes, you are.
Oh no.
Probably a vampire by the sounds of it, but it could be a wraith still. We don't know yet.
And you looking around as you walk inside the fenced-in area. I say fenced-in, walled-in area. You hear like creaking of like signposts, almost that kind of sound. Looking around, you can see like there's a lantern hanging from a hook thing on the wall, but it's not lit. So, and it's swaying slightly, and that's where you get that creaking sound. And looking further on, you can see another one. It seems like there are strategically placed lanterns to light up the area at night, but none of the lanterns have been lit. And you figure that either they burned out or they were put out when the family left, the siblings, or the family left the farm.
Okay.
You can also see, like, in that smaller fenced-in area, there is a trough filled with what looks like hay and a trough of water. So the animals seem to have been fed before they left, but there's not a whole lot left.
Okay.
So, looking into the barn and outbuildings, what
Yes.
animals are there?
Yeah, because we had the barn key, so we could unlock the barn too. And
Yes, you have
Yeah.
a barn key and you have the key to the main building.
Yeah.
Looking into the outbuildings and the barn, you notice there are 6 chickens and a rooster in the chicken coop. The rooster perks up immediately as you look inside and just keeping an eye on you. The smaller fenced-in area with the building has 2 goats in it. And the barn has 2 cows and a horse.
And everything looks
Okay.
to be in order.
Everything looks to be in order. You do find a bunch of rat droppings, however, everywhere. And looking around inside the barn, it takes you a while, but you do eventually find 2 cats sleeping.
Okay.
They seem to be like curled up in a corner, easily defendable corner by the looks of it.
Okay. And she said that some of the
look.
other animals had disappeared too, or
No, the
like-
cats ran off.
and then came back a few
and then
days
came
later.
back, yeah.
And that was weird for the cats to do that.
Yes.
Okay, but none of the farm animals have like escaped and then mysteriously reappeared. It's just
No,
in the
no.
house. It's okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's
so
just the
the
cats.
Could be potentially. So the cats could be servants too, potentially,
Potentially.
depending on.
How do the cats
Although
look?
they're
Pretty skinny, but from what you can tell, they probably only get like they eat whatever they can catch, or if it's winter or poor weather, they get fed. But that's about it. They live off what they can catch. So
Right.
a little bit on
But
the
she said
skinny
they-
side.
But they
'Cause-
aren't like covered in rat bites or anything.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Okay.
Not as far as you can tell now.
Because the lady said that they brought rats in from time to time, ostensibly could have been eating them, but if they are also servants, they might not be eating the rats, which could be why they're skinnier too, potentially. Curious. Okay. And you said the cats are in the barn?
Yeah,
Or
they're
have we gone
sleeping
into
in
the
the
house?
barn right now, as in
Oh,
an area that was kind hard to see from the start. But as you
Yeah.
look around, you find them in a nook that seems like if the cats get startled, they can just defend themselves in that little nook,
Mm.
or
Okay.
run away.
Yeah. Okay. Well, everything seems to be in order here for now. Do we want to move to the house since that's where the bulk of the problem seems to be?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Lavender, what are you doing as they are searching this? Are you
She's
following
trying to
them?
get the cat.
With the hawk under her arm? That's
She would have given back the hawk by now, because while they've been walking, she would have like started noticing like the claws digging into her arm, and she's like, I don't think your hawk is liking me.
Oh, no, they generally prefer to sit on your shoulder, not be carried like a chicken.
Oh.
Hmm.
And she will pet the hawk. Sorry.
Sorry.
Let me check something real quick. I had
I may
coupons.
sneeze.
Bless you. We're gonna go with that one. And we're
how
gonna go...
loud. Curious how loud Lofar is, because you clink around in your frickin' chainmail over there.
I mean, he is starting to feel the effects of the amount of alcohol he has drunk.
Mm-hmm.
May have made his way over to a trough to throw up.
Okay. Fair.
To do as you would have done in the given how serious this is becoming, he may have gone off to do some what is often referred to as tactical chunders, i.e. put his fingers down his throat to throw up some of the booze to try and refresh himself a little bit, and then dunk his
Fair.
head in the water troughs.
Okay. Right. Okay, but you're not like chainmail's not like ridiculously loud, but you definitely clink a little as you walk, right?
Oh yeah,
Like just
yeah.
naturally. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus he's carrying 2 axes and a shield, right? So everything is clattering together.
Oh, goodness
He makes a
gracious.
cacophony of sound.
Yeah.
When he's walking, and then he's gone and made it even worse by forcing himself to throw up in the corner and then dunking his head
Right.
in water again. He's not being quiet.
Clang, clang, clang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not being
Goodness
quiet at all. If you asked him to be quiet, he would attempt to, but he also has disadvantage on stealth rolls, just to be aware.
Yeah, that tracks. Okay.
So,
Well,
Lavender, as you hand over the hawk again, it managed to catch you with a talon, like right on your cheek, and you take 1 point of slashing damage. Because, you know, hawks are very impressive beasts, apparently. I rolled 21 to hit, and it does 1 slashing damage. No roll required.
I don't think your hawk likes me.
Oh, he's just a little disgruntled. I'm sorry.
And she will walk up to the cat.
Now remember, those cats belong to somebody.
yes, and they're also sleeping, so you be careful that they don't scratch you because you could startle them awake. They also could be secretly evil cats right now as well.
Why is everything evil in your eyes? And she will go into her bag and she will take out some. I would believe she would have some like jerky and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And just like she would be very gentle and like put it like on a handkerchief and put it on like the handkerchief. And she would like sit a little bit further away and be like, "Come, kitty, kitty. We come, kitty, kitty."
Like I said, she's determined to make every animal she sees spherical.
You notice both the cats look up, ears forward, look around, and in the torchlight you can just see that green reflection in their eyes. And they look over to you and just very carefully, one of them, what looks like a brown, gray and orange tabby, or yeah, tabby, stands up, stretches a little bit, takes a few steps forward, and sniffs the air, and then takes another few steps forward, and just moving slowly towards you, sniffing, moving a little bit, sniffing your hand, and then takes the jerky, just snags it and bolts back into the corner.
That's okay. So she would just leave more jerky for both the cats and like go back to the party and be like, "You look skinny, that's all."
Fair. Your caring instincts are worthy. Given the problems at this farm, we don't know if these cats are also servants like the rats are. I don't think everything is evil. I just want to be cautious while we're on the farm.
Oh, they
I
looked
don't want you to.
scared.
Well, yes, they don't know you.
I mean, they looked scared before we got here.
They were sleeping.
Yeah, but usually they don't sleep in corners.
That is fair. That is fair. I just want us all to be cautious. As there's like very loud throwing up and clanking sounds, like, off to the side in the background, like
Yes.
completely belaying the like we need to be cautious like point.
Yeah.
It's like
Lofar.
you're
Yep, sorry. I interrupted you.
no, you're fine.
Okay. Lofar, as you stand up for a moment after having dunked your head in a trough, there is this weird presence. You feel like you're being watched. And looking around you can't immediately see anything, like unless you have a torch with you lit. It's very hard to see. And you have this creeping sensation, and then looking to your side, you see, just as the clouds break a little bit and a tiny bit of moonlight comes through, dozens of tiny eyes reflected in the moonlight.
Nope.
And I need you to make me a what's that? Intelligence, wisdom, or charisma save. Your choice.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Well, I have a +2 to wisdom, so let's go with that.
All right.
Too many eyeballs. Too many eyeballs. Too many eyeballs.
That's not come through properly, has it?
Nope.
It was a 9 on the dice.
All right.
I can roll it again to see if it will actually appear in the log if you want.
No, I see it in the log. It just doesn't show up on the...
Oh, okay.
Doesn't show up in the VTT, but I can see in the log. So a 9. You get this creeping, like extreme creeping sensation all over your body, and you feel your feet start moving without your conscious control. Could you please roll me a d4? Four. You take a few steps back away from it, and then you find yourself just breathing deeply and your feet just stop moving, and then your body just locks up, staring into the forest.
Can he still speak? Or is it just his body that's locked up?
Your body, yeah, you can still speak falteringly, but your body is just not moving.
Okay, he literally starts swearing in Dwarvish as loudly as he can
Man.
make out.
Immediate head whips. I don't speak Dwarvish, weirdly enough, but loud cursing in any language, you're gonna look. I like immediately whip out, and I'm gonna pull one of my weapons. I have a torch in my other hand, but I immediately am like pulling a weapon because it's like, oh, that's probably not good, and like looking in his direction.
You see Lothar just standing there, cursing, not moving, 1 foot back in half a step, but his body is just not moving. And he's staring into the darkness next to him.
Lothar,
Oh no.
can you move back towards us, please? What? I don't even know what you're saying.
He then
Right.
switches to Westron, which is the common language, isn't it? And it
Yeah.
just says, there's just like fucking eyes, rats, things.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm gonna make my way. I'm gonna make my way towards him.
All right. As you're making your way towards him, you start feeling that sensation as well. You are being watched by something.
Okay. I would like to look around and figure out what it is.
Yeah. Lifting your torch.
I'd like to also draw my bow just to give them cover.
All right.
Basically, cover them.
Lifting your torch,
And use
it falls. The light falls into the darkness, and where at first it's just that green glinting of reflected light, instead you see about, I'd say, 10 rats standing at the edge, just looking, and then scattering.
Edge of the forest?
No,
You said edge of the forest?
So it was on the edge of, so where you walked in, where Lothar was standing, you have the trough where he was dunking his head in, and then about, let's say, 20 feet towards the forest line.
Got it.
The wall starts, and like down on the ground and on top of the wall, that's where the rats are standing.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And as you lift the torch, they scatter and run away.
Right. Okay.
And I need you to make me a intelligence, charisma, or wisdom save. It's your choice.
You said it's a save?
Yes.
Cool. Well, I get advantage on that, and I have a bonus, so I'm going to choose charisma because it's a really good number.
It is.
I built my character does these creepy shit all the time, essentially.
Yes. So Lothar, you've taken 1 point of shadow damage, which is basically fear accumulation.
So 16 total. Glad I got that advantage because one of them was a nat 1. So 16.
With the 16, you managed to you know what this is. And I'd say because you used charisma, you managed to just hype yourself up to be able to shake that feeling off. You can feel the fear start creeping in, and then just no, and basically talk yourself up to shake it off. So you do not take any shadow points at this point. Lothar has 1 though.
Okay. Does quick question, with the shadow points, does that work mechanically, just off your normal hit points, or is that in addition to regular
it's an
hit points?
Additional. So basically shadow points is your accumulated amount of anxiety.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So we wouldn't mark it off our hit points, we would just keep track of it.
Yeah, just keep track of that on the side. And basically when your shadow points equal your wisdom score, you're gonna have a break.
Okay, you're like, no, I can't do this anymore. Okay, got
Yeah,
it. Cool.
so you basically have a mental break once that score is equal.
Okay.
At half, some other shenanigans happen.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so
How may that interplay with the Shadow Path Curse of Vengeance that my character has?
Let me check.
I think I can ping it in the chat.
nope. And my chair is all wobbly here. No.
I don't see it.
Okay, it says individuals who live by the sword are unattempted to draw it, either literally or figuratively. When their will is thwarted, or when they deem their honour to have been impunged by an insult, as corruption spreads in their spirit, their behaviour worsens, leading to more extreme, violent reactions.
All right, so basically, once you hit that threshold, both of the thresholds, your reactions are more like towards the violent side than having just screaming madness running off or similar things. So
Oh, okay.
you would be more likely to just outright attack anything nearby.
Okay.
Oh, it's kind of like a berserker type of similarity where you just get so stressed that you lash out in anger. Okay.
There it is.
Good to know. That's something to look out for. All of a
Yes.
sudden the door starts attacking us. Okay.
So you would be more tempted to just lash out, either just screaming match, insulting people, or drawing a sword and trying to hack them to pieces.
Not
Oh
so
my
good.
God. I've
No.
just realised that there's levels to it. There's 4 levels
goodness.
to it. Level 4 is I don't care if I kill people.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thanks. Sorry, I just wanted to check. I
Yes,
read
yes.
it, but then I'm like, how? What?
Oh no.
So yeah.
Okay.
It
cool.
takes you, I say, roughly a minute or so to shake out of that freeze reaction you had, Lofar. But eventually you start getting like control over your limbs again.
Yeah.
Where?
Well, he just carries on swearing and mixing between Westron and Dwarvish. And then once he's get full control again, he kind of just stamps over to the corner of the building and just kind of stands there, axe in one hand, shield out, and he's just like staring out across like what is in front of him. And he's just gonna hit. I think he's just gonna hit anything that isn't one of his 3 companions.
All right.
Thanks for making
Oh,
that
that's good.
distinction.
As you're moving across the, for lack of a better word, courtyard of this, or main area of this homestead, you hear skittering of rodent feet, just
Nope.
as you move along.
That's definitely not ideal.
Yeah. Nope. Well, we're going the right direction, I suppose. Everyone be on your guard.
Yes. Me. I mentioned I don't like this.
I'm sorry, did you say you don't like this? I would be worried if you did.
Good point. Good point. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Sure, we're going up against a potentially very rare form of dark servant. We'll be just fine. As long as we
Yes.
work together.
The power of friendship and
Um,
all that.
Alright.
What kind of okay.
Terris, could you check the message, please?
Message?
Yes, I sent the message.
Where?
In the group
Where?
chat. Alright.
The non-live one, the private message group chat.
Yes. Perfect. Alright. So, back in the barn. Lavender. You hear rustling. And looking around, the cats are gone. They have pieced out.
Well, no wonder if there's a lot of rats around. So she will just like start walking toward the rest of the people since they left her.
Alright.
I mean, I don't know how far we got from you, honestly. I don't think we're that far from you.
It's not very far. So the distance between the barn where you were at and the goat pen is maybe 15, 20 feet at most. So you're not that far away. But the cats were kind of in the back of it. And you can see like where they were. It's kind of a little opening in the wall where big enough for both of them to have just slipped out and vanished through.
Yeah, she will just like walk off since the cats aren't there.
Yep. And as you step out, you can see the torchlight. It's spreading pretty far, like glistening off of puddles in the muddy ground. And you get that sensation of being watched again. And just looking around to the immediate left of you, outside the barn, two sets of green specks in the darkness.
Cat?
Do you walk closer?
Cat?
You walk closer and you hear a squeaking that I know my microphone can't pick up, so I can't make that sound.
Rat? Is it you?
And you step even closer to it, just so you can barely start making out. It is indeed rats, and that sensation of being watched just intensify to an almost unbearable level. And I need you to make me a charisma, intelligence, or wisdom save. Hello? There we go. You are a little bit too focused on the fact that they are rats. You feel that fear of the darkness around you start creeping in, but they're very cuddly little rats. They look very snuggleable. And you manage to talk yourself like, it's nothing. Like, talk yourself up. It's fine. It's just rats, right? You're on a farm. Rats live here. And almost when you're almost at them, being able to touch the two of them, they run away from you, vanishing into the dark.
Come on. Is this because they tried to catch one of you?
Please give me a perception check.
God,
Oh,
if the
God.
rats walk after you, I'm so done. I don't have a rat phobia, but I was like, nope, too many eyes,
Yeah.
too many. Nope, we're getting swarm levels of rats. Nope.
22.
You look
Always the
up
rats.
after to see where the rats have gone, and not too far away from the farm, you see like the hills start rolling a bit, and then like you see the rolling hills, you see the forest behind, and then like far off in the distance, barely noticeable, because no dark vision. You see it's kind of a little bit of a change in the darkness, almost like it becomes even darker. It goes from like this dark gray to a pitch black and then dark gray again.
Excuse me. And she will like. Does it look like it's someone there?
It's very no. It's kind of big, so maybe the size of the barn door behind you.
Why is it so dark over there? I know I can't see much in the dark, but
And it's kind of far away. It's just like, I know people are like, oh, you can't see anything in the dark. You can. You just have to adjust to it.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Walk around my house all the time in the dark and have not hurt myself yet.
It's not ideal, but you're
No.
not completely blind if there's anything remotely resembling a light source. But so you'd say it's maybe 120 feet away
Oh,
from
goodness, that's really
the wall, so it's very far away. And the only reason why you notice is because one, you rolled really high on that perception check, and you were looking straight at it, and you can see that dark gray go to this rather large area of complete darkness, and then dark gray again, with trees on top of it, like the silhouettes of trees on top of it.
Oh no.
there's something up there. I think.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'll turn my
Also-
attention.
Also, all the rats are scared of me because of you guys.
That's probably not the reason, but good to know.
Yeah. I don't think they're scared of you because of that reason. And in this case, it's probably good that they're running away from you. These particular rats. Not all rats, but these particular rats.
And the cats disappeared, and now it's all dark over there, and I don't like this.
I think we're going to need to talk about getting her a puppy.
Puppy?
Nothing.
I don't know if anyone else has a torch, but I'm gonna walk over when I hear her say like there's something going on. I'm gonna come over. I know it's still
Yeah.
far away, but I don't know if like the torch light helps at all. Like see just a little bit further.
If you're
Like,
bringing
is
the
it
torch
outside,
over,
like outside in the forest, or is it like towards the house?
It's more towards the forest. So
Okay.
walking out the main barn door, turning left and
Yeah.
looking more northeast.
Okay.
That's like it's between the main building and the barn. You have to like turn
Okay.
around.
yep,
Okay.
if you're bringing a torch over, Naren is going to step away from you because he feels that that might, like he doesn't have dark vision, but that might actually hinder being able to see further out. Like you might get
Oh, yeah.
blinded by
Okay.
the torch.
Fair.
So he's going to sort of step away from the light sources and peer out into the darkness to see if he can discern what that is.
What do you see with your elven eyes? That was totally out of character, by the way. I couldn't help myself. I've gone so long without making quotes. I've been really good. Let me have this one.
You're allowed.
Yeah, that's fair. I will purposely like try and hold it far away from you, but like knowing that like the rest of like we all need it to see, but like you have this like it's gonna help me not see as well. I will like have learned to like hold it away from where you're at to like try and help you
Yeah.
peer out into the forest darkness.
All right.
It is the middle of the night. There are lots of nighttime creatures that may be prowling about as well.
Give me a perception check, Naron.
I can perceive things, in theory.
Maybe.
Before you do anything, I'm going to where is that bloody thing? Use my Rhymes of Law to add another D8 to that.
Okay.
Wait, crap. How many of those do you have? Because that's awesome.
Got one more after this.
Oh. Oh wow, you have 4? That's a lot. Cool.
Per
Yep.
short rest.
Oh.
So
Whoa.
it's a 12 plus 7, so 19.
Okay. Within 19 and being pointed to where Lavender saw this darkness, you see the same thing. You can see the trees on this hill, and then the dark gray of what you would guess is like ground, and then it becomes pitch dark. You cannot see anything, and then it becomes dark gray again. You also notice a couple of drops of rain hitting your skin.
Oh, it's raining.
Anything suspicious out there?
Just that black patch of, well, darkness.
Interesting. Well, it could be something worth investigating at some point, but not in the rain. We should maybe go towards the house, since that's where they were experiencing things the most.
Yes, sounds like a plan. Though I am extremely curious about that dark patch.
We can go out there and investigate that first. I just don't think it might be a good idea in the rain and in the middle of the night, given what we might be facing.
Oh, no, I totally agree. I'm just curious, is all.
All right. That wasn't a cat. Okay.
It's a ghost.
I heard it like a clicking sound. I was like, is the cat trying to get out? Nope, he's asleep. I'm setting
It's a
myself on edge.
You did it to yourself.
Yes. All right. You head towards the main building, and unlocking the front door is not very difficult. You have to jiggle the key a little bit because the lock is kind of old, but it opens pretty easily enough. And silently,
Jiggle.
it seems like this house is well cared for. The hinges are not squeaking, as if they've been recently oiled. And inside there is a fresh scent of junipers, as if it has been recently cleaned.
Well, that's
Like
a nice
within the
smell.
last like day cleaned, or the last like few days cleaned? Like how strong?
Probably
is
like
it?
you holding the torch up, you can see that there's a little bit of dust, so probably within a few days.
Okay. So keeping in with like the food that they left out, that it's been for a few days that they've been gone, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of cold, a little bit muggy, that kind of mugginess you get in a house that hasn't been tended to for a few days, especially in this climate and the weather around Bree.
Is
Uh,
there wood in the fireplace? Can we start a fire?
You look, there's not wood in the fireplace, but there's wood next to it. The fireplace is, there's a little bit of ash and coals in there. But other than that, it seemed to be cleaned out before they left.
Right.
Smart. Don't want their house accidentally burning down while they're gone.
Yes. Which is remarkably
So Naren,
clever for people who were exhausted.
Naren isn't going to light a fire, but he's going to point out that they could if they wanted to.
Yeah. So the house itself is rather small. It has two floors to it, but each doesn't have that many rooms. There is a kitchen and what looks like a area, like a dining area, for lack of better term. There's a kitchen, and then there's a room with a table and 4 chairs in it. A couple of chairs along the walls for guests, and then across the hall is what looks like a bedroom with a bed, a wardrobe, closet. That's the word I was looking for, and like a side table and a chest. And then at the end of a very kind of short hallway is the staircase up to the 2nd floor.
Okay. How big is the bed? Is it like a 1-person bed, a 2-person bed? Because we don't know the relationship between the lady, and she said one of them's her cousin, but like another one of them, I don't know, it could be a brother, it could be like a partner. We don't know if she's, married into the family or something like that. So like, is the bed like 1-person or 2-person?
This
roughly?
bed, it looks like it's a 1-person one. It's made out of straw and home woven blankets or home knitted blankets. One blanket is still in there, like haphazardly thrown over the straw bed, but it seems like the chest and the closet are slightly open and have been emptied out of clothing. There are some knickknacks in there, a book, and looks like a toy sword in the chest. But all the clothing seems to have been taken.
Okay. Is there anything indicating like whatever the equivalent of like a suitcase or satchel, like maybe missing to indicate that like, oh, they took clothes with them, or versus like the clothes being stolen?
In the closet you find a space, a round space that looks like it's not completely round, but you could probably guess it's probably some sack or something have been sitting there unused.
Something to carry stuff with you. Okay. So they probably took clothes with them then.
Yep.
Okay.
And then on the 2nd floor you find 2 bedrooms and what looks like a washroom. One of the bedrooms has 2 beds on either side, kind of small, and the second one has a single bed and a pile of crates and bags and baskets and just any kind of container you can imagine. It's almost like this storage area was converted to a bedroom.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say hoarder, but okay. So maybe like initially, like one of them is like, oh, I need to come stay here, so they converted the best they could. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. That's very different context than like someone just collects baskets, or maybe they weave. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, do we want to split up and investigate, or do we want to go wait out the rain? What do you two think, Lavender? How far are you even sober enough yet to
Um,
think critically, or do you need to sleep it off?
Yeah, he needs to probably sleep it off slightly. And having been freaked out outside, he's kind of like crept
Okay.
into the room and kept his back to the wall almost the entire time. And is just kind of like,
Okay.
yes, observing the room.
Yeah.
And I think as Naron has mentioned that he could make a fire, he goes over and literally like starts the fire.
All right. Yeah, the firewood is dry
Yes.
and well kept. So the fire starts pretty quickly. And the warmth spreads throughout the room, seeming to chase all the murky, damp air and the shadows out of the dining room.
He probably builds the fire up like a little bit too high.
Yeah.
Just that little bit more to kind of get rid of a few of the shadows, and then he's having a looking at the pile and just working out whether or not he's going to need to go get some more wood from somewhere to keep the fire burning all night long.
Query.
Uh-huh.
Is there somewhere relatively dry, but outside, that Naron could sit? Keeping an eye on the house and basically the farm.
The closest you have to that would be in the barn.
Mm.
In one of the, like, if you leave the barn doors open, you could probably sit in one of the stalls, but it will be very hard to see anything because it's so dark.
Another query. Sorry, I'm Nelly.
Yep.
How cold is it? Like, if he were to sit in the rain, how miserable would he be?
Very. It's not freezing outside, but you would be very chilled by morning.
Mm.
Like, to the point of catching a cold.
I'm immune to disease.
Yeah, I mean, it would suck. You would be very, very,
suck?
very cold.
Hmm.
But you would, like, it's not freezing out, but anyone who's been swimming in below 20 degrees water knows how miserable that can be.
He is considering sitting flat on the barn roof to wait to see if anything comes up to the door.
Okay.
But
The barn and the house, what's the distance, and like how many feet away are the barn and the house? Because that may be like put you in danger if you're that far, if the barn is pretty far
no,
from the
he's
house.
considering it. He's probably said this out loud, but he hasn't
I'd say
made a definitive decision.
a safe space to sit on top of the barn would put you roughly 60 feet from the house.
Okay, that's not super far.
It's not super far, no. Like, the homestead is large for being Breeland, but it's not a huge homestead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the buildings
So
are kind of
basically
close
what he's-
together,
sorry.
but yeah.
Yeah, basically what he's trying to do is find a sniper's nest.
Yeah. You won't be able to see the entirety of the house either. You can see the front door and one of the sides of the house or the main building, but you can't see the entirety of it.
Mm.
And from what you can tell from the angle of things, the like the living room or the space with the dining table. I'm gonna call it a dining room now, even though it sounds too fancy for this place.
Yeah.
You can see the window for the dining room and that storage room that was converted to a bedroom. And you can see the front door from where you're sitting. You can't see the windows for the other two bedrooms from where you are.
So he'd just say to the others, "What would you think if I decided to get a vantage point out on the barn roof. Thoughts?
I worry about you being so far from the house in case something happens out there or happens here. But it would be helpful to know if something's coming and potentially take care of the problem. It's also really miserable outside, though. You may not get sick, but that doesn't mean you're not going to be really miserable. And don't do that if you don't have to.
I suppose you're right. I could, I'd still be wet, but I'm assuming since hot air rises, if I were to keep a watch on the roof of the house, it would be considerably warmer. With our friend stoking that fire like he's Yes, well. No, I think you're right. It would be rather
I
miserable.
mean, you could climb onto the roof of this house. You could maybe tuck in near a corner of the chimney or something, and maybe try and stay out of sight or something. But I think the barn is I feel like that's too far away unless we all go stay out there, and I don't think our dwarven friend is going to be up for that, the way he's trying to burn the house down with that fire.
Yes, no, I think you're right. I think while it would have been an idea if it was perhaps not raining, for instance, there are too many factors. Unfortunate.
All right.
I suppose, since this thing seems to wake people up when they're on the brink of sleep, we should perhaps try to get some. I'll take first watch if you'd like.
We know it can already come in the house, so
Mm-hmm.
I think you're onto something there.
All right. You settling in to sleep in this house, or?
Naren would take a watch at
Okay.
first, I think.
All right. Lavender and Lothar, what are you doing?
Sorry, coughing fit.
Well, Lothar has heavily stocked up the fire to the point where it's probably slightly too overdone. And then he basically kind of props himself up against the wall whilst everyone else is talking, and he props himself up against the wall. He's armed, but as soon as the conversation is turning to going to sleep, he's effectively kind of trying to sleep sitting up with his axe in his hand.
All right. Lavender.
You know how hobbits just curl up, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
They did.
You curl up
Hobbit curl, a
in.
brand new dance sensation.
In front of the fire because warm.
Yeah. Oh, itchy.
I'm gonna post up somewhere I can see the door, because they didn't say how she. We know they said she.
Yeah.
So whatever she is comes in. They just said there's like knocking, and then like she comes in. But I'm assuming at least vampire would probably maybe use a door. I don't know if wraith would just like come through a wall. I'm the race I'm thinking of. I'm like, they just seem to kind of sometimes phase through stuff, but I don't think it's like a ring wraith type wraith, because those are very specific. So I don't know how that would work, but I want to definitely, I'm gonna like post up with my back against something similar to Lothar, but like so I can keep an eye on the door while I'm like
Yeah, you can
dozing,
definitely.
half sleeping.
Yeah, you can definitely
Like-
get an angle in the dining room where you can see through the doorway to it and see the front door, and also
Yeah,
keep
and-
like where you can keep an eye on all entrances, like the window, the kitchen door, the front door.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have the only throwing weapon I have is my hatchet. Essentially, is the equivalent of it, and I'm gonna have that in my hand though in case I need to like quick action, like
Yeah,
do something like quick
definitely.
action, throw a weapon. And I'm just gonna kind of like have that in. I think I'm probably a light sleeper, but I'm definitely feel comfortable enough to like nap with
Okay.
this group.
Yeah. Naron,
Yes.
where do we find you during the night?
He is very quietly doing the rounds in the house. He is patrolling.
Okay.
Smart.
Let's see.
That's-
Or at least I think he'd wake someone up later to get 4 hours, but
Yeah.
yep, he's patrolling for now.
All right. You all start settling into your sleep or your rounds, and the night seems to pass. Naron, as you get on your third, or is it fourth lap through the house, you step into the bottom floor bedroom, and suddenly there is a hand at your throat, just slamming you against the wall, and a female elf's face in your face going, "Where is it?" And that is
So
where we're
what,
gonna... The map. And I think we're gonna
Oh.
wrap there.